Our Keith Andrews is here. Richie G is here. Let's go. We're going live on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I was talking to my boss, and they said we are not going back to Sundays for the foreseeable future.
That's nice. Hey, everybody on YouTube. How y'all doing tonight? It is a woo-tacular Friday night as our Keith Andrews of the ET Connection is here, but we have a special guest joining us tonight. Yeah, you know who it is? I'll give you a little hint. Little who? Little Richie G from Goof On Radio 2. He is here. Hi, Rich.
That's amazing.
I know.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Keith. How you doing?
Thanks for...
No, not bad. How about you?
Good. Sorry, Rich. I accidentally cut you off because we're not on camera, so I can't see you talking.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. No, it's all right. I was just saying thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you are one of my good friends.
No, I swear I do.
I know.
I comb my hair and everything.
Do you? Do you really? You comb your hair?
I did. I swear. It looks fantastic.
Oh, nice. Nice. Let's give our shout out to everybody who's here so far. Waylon, thank you for coming on in. Gorgeous Jules, the lovely and talented Jessica. Martin, thank you for coming on in. Crystal Light, great to have you here. Steam Train Mark, how is tomorrow looking in Australia? Please update me and let me know if I am alive in the future. I would appreciate that. Balls Mahoney, I hope your balls are feeling good tonight. Nucker, how are you? Closer to the hockey season, buddy. We're getting closer. I could feel it. Can almost smell it. Ross, good to have you back. Adnome, how you doing, buddy? Ward, always a pleasure. Fapster and Grandma Rose, how are you? Thank you for coming on in. Middle Child and Human Carl's here, everybody. Not to be mixed up with the alien Carl. We got Human Carl here. He is a veteran, so make sure you give him a clap for being a veteran to your beautiful country of the United States of America. Good job, Carl. We love you around here, man. Moonstone, how you doing? Ghost 66. Don't scare yourself, buddy. Brett Lewis is here, everybody. Hey, it's Brett Lewis. Science Bob is here, everyone. Science Bob. The show can officially start because Science Bob is here. Hey, Rich, guess who's here?
Who?
The Stu Gerson.
Stu Gerson's here. Stu G, how you doing?
Yes, the Stu Gerson. Nathan Allen, good to have you here. Greco, how's your baklava at your restaurant? Thank you so much for coming on in. Zach, Jim Christie, Justin Goodearth, good to have you guys here. Aloha Phillip, thank you for coming on in. Mystic, who else is here? Davey is here. Wow, we're already packed up, man. Who else is here? I miss it. Evasius, Nikki Starr.
Nice.
She is looking beautiful down in Texas, apparently. We're going to have to be the judge of that. So far, so good. All right. I got my buddy Corey Squirrel Nuts here in the studio. His website is hotbikinibingobabes.com. How you doing, Corey Squirrel Nuts?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Oh, yes. We have company over for the weekend. My buddy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he's in here. You know, this guy's so tough, honestly. He's so tough that it could be like minus 25 degrees Celsius outside, and he will be out in a T-shirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is tough because that's friggin' cold. It's totally friggin'
beef
cold.
Jerky tough.
Yeah. Keith, how's the phone lines tonight?
Well, in all fairness, they've been dead all night. However, that doesn't mean much.
No.
It's a holiday.
It is a holiday, though. Hold on, guys. We're going to start the first feed. Okay, feed number 1 is on. Should probably log into the Space Travelers Club so I can see the multitude, the plethora of people there.
Plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot.
And reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. All right.
Spaced Out Radio, your place for paranormal.
Hi, Bill WD-40. How you doing, buddy? All right. All right.
Stu Gerson.
The Stu Gerson.
Stoogie.
Stoogie. Hey, R. Keith Andrews. Good to see you in the chat room.
Well, working on it.
Yeah. Rich, feel
It's
free
always
to
fun trying to get in.
Rich, feel free to cut me off at any time because I feel like I'm cutting you off way too much already. I apologize, buddy.
No, and you know what? It's actually me because I'm delaying my answers because I'm waiting for you to stop talking and it's too long. Usually I just do it on instinct.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, guys, 10 seconds. We have the super chat open tonight. Thank you so much for everybody. Oob, Joe's Maine. I got your beard here, buddy. It's looking good. I wore it the other day. And music is on. Patrick Noble, you're looking very noble tonight. Very noble. We might even call you regal. All right. Little R. Keith, a little Richie G. We are in for one fucked up show tonight, people. Here we go.
I'm not sure, but I think they came out.
From across the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Now, if you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show and on Instagram. Actually, I already said that. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's time once again to board the Woo train as R. Keith Andrews returns for the ET Connection. Keith is a lifelong experiencer who joins us once a month to talk all things alien and extraterrestrial. A lifelong experiencer, Keith now helps counsel people who have had their own experiences and are struggling to figure out what and why it's happening to them. We are also joined by a special guest, little Richie G from Goof On Radio, Rich Giordano, to coming in and playing on the Woo train with us. We really do appreciate that. And of course, if you are in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter, make sure, and this is what you need to do, you need to put your questions in capital letters. We will get them to Keith and Rich as quickly as we can. Now, Keith is still technically on work shift. So if all of a sudden he has to bail on out, well, we got G here. We got the G here for that. So we're going to be entertaining you all night long. Gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the ET Connection.
Let's
Thanks
do
very
it.
much for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
I said, thanks very much for having me, and us for that matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Rich, you kind of have a little bit of a skeptical side here, so I'm sure, you're going to probably, get right into it with our Keith here a few times. I'm okay with that, and I'm sure Keith is up for the challenge as well for some questions. But Keith, for people who are listening to you for the first time, because our audience is always expanding, it's always growing, explain what it's like to be a lifelong experiencer of things that are not supposed to exist.
I believe the polite way to put it would be confusing. My entire life, my dad tried convincing me that all of my memories were wrong, and then on his deathbed 4 years ago, apologized to me and said that, and he listed them off quite in detail to specifically tell me that no, my memories were absolutely on the money. So, to say the least, you don't fit in with society itself, and even in my own family, they were none too happy with my outlook.
Really? So
for the people getting into it.
Yeah. So Keith, for you going through that your entire life, how different of a childhood and life have you lived comparatively to somebody else who's maybe never experienced anything?
I think the best way to put it is my life is more like science fiction than it is anything else. You know, let's take that funny little group called the Flat Earth Society. We'll take all the science and throw it out the window and just go with the one thing I rely on. When I was 5 years old, I saw my first Earth rise. As in watching the Earth come up over the horizon of the moon. Now, people can tell me whatever they want. That in and of itself defines whether or not I see the world as round or not.
Does it matter?
You know, and there's things that I just take as for granted that other people just thankfully are not really in a position to wrap their brain around.
How did you see Earthrise?
Well, you get on a starship, go over to the other side of the moon, and take a look back.
Okay. I didn't know where from. Just making sure.
Yeah. No, like I said there, it really boils down to science fiction.
Mm-hmm. Our Keith Andrews and little Richie G are with us tonight. Now, Rich, you've never really had an ET experience.
Not that I'm aware of. I've had very explicit dreams, though.
All right. So with the fact that not knowingly you've had any experiences and being a guy who has been looking into UFOs for the last 15 to 16 years, do you feel a little ripped off that the aliens haven't asked you to come out and play yet?
Yep. Absolutely. That's why I'm angry. It's not fair. I've tried a lot of things that are being done, you know, meditation, trying to change my vibration. I've tried talking to psychics, all sorts of stuff. Why am I not getting any alien? Well, they told me I am. I just don't remember it. So I'll have to buy it for now.
Well, you know, the main thing is that you come on in and you have a good time, and, you know, sometimes you got to get a little angry. And that's why we love you. That's why we love you right there, man.
Hey, what's wrong with me?
Do you want a list?
Oh, it's gonna be one of those shows. Sorry,
that was just too easy of a setup.
You should see my list on you. Oh my God. No, I'm joking.
All right. We're going to get the questions started off right off the bat here. And Greco is asking, Keith, are there any real small aliens that you can eat as a snack, whether they're whole and maybe a little bit delicious?
Well, technically the answer would be yes. But then anything's large, you just cut it down to size, you can carry on. I mean, there's an old African proverb that goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Oh.
You know, but could you? The answer is yes. Would I recommend it? Not at all.
How come?
Well, because some of the ones that are small enough to eat will eat you from the inside out.
What if you chew them up really well?
Your teeth aren't that tiny.
Oh.
You take a look at the Archon. They're a parasite. Technically, you can eat them.
Do you want to eat them, though?
I mean, well, that's just it.
Yeah.
See, I always find trying to eat sentient creatures isn't necessarily in your best rational line of thinking, if you will.
Rich, I can feel you burning up with a question here.
No. I'm really just listening in.
Let me ask you this, Keith. When you go up on a spaceship, do you bring your own fork and knife just in case?
No.
Do they provide cutlery?
That depends entirely on what you're referring to as far as meals go. Most of the time I'm there, it's literally not spent sitting around a dinner table.
Okay, so what happens when this leads to a very interesting line of question. What happens if you get hungry while you're on craft?
Well, that's the good part about it. Getting food is relatively easy. The reason that you don't worry about cutlery is for the most part you're dealing with, because you're up and walking around a lot. Most of it is done in the way of finger food.
Oh.
Meaning cutlery is not a requirement. Besides that, especially where I tend to hang around, you don't want people walking around with weaponry. And rest assured, a fork is definitely a weapon.
All right. Well, let me ask you this then. Do they have vending machines up there? Do you have to bring change, or do they supply their own currency for that?
Oh, and they've got a whole different setup, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with currency per se. Don't forget, because of the way the system is set up, food is part of the system. It is just part of the payoff of actually working. In Terran society, you go out, you work, then you go out and buy food. Right? In the consortium, if you're working, food is free. And if you're not working, the odds are your food.
Gotcha. Have you ever had an alien try and chow down on you as a meal?
Well, the answer would be yes. And learn one thing very quickly. There are certain things you can do to dissuade them, depending on what they are. But had I not been successful, let's face it, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. At least on this one.
What do you think about all this, Richie G?
I'd like to see a little bit of evidence, but I know it's impossible.
I was going to say, good luck with that.
Yeah. It's hard to take a lot of things that, that he's saying. No offense, but I mean, you hear it all the time, I'm sure. It's just, I don't know if you're dreaming this stuff or what, but how come you're able to get this type of information and I am not? I don't understand.
I wish I could give you a definitive answer on that one.
I know.
As far as taking offense to it, I spent decades talking to different shrinks because I was trying to figure out if I was nuts.
Okay. Well, I
actually,
understand.
it was funny when we first discovered that problem, because I was working with a shrink at the time, and we were trying to uncover my problem with my short-term memory having collapsed. Right. And all of a sudden, I went through a session with him, and he looks at me and he goes, "We have a major problem." I said, "What do you mean we have a major problem? My memory is the one that's shot." And he goes, he says, "Yeah, but the problem is you've been abducted." I said, "You want to run that by me again?" Of course, at the time, I'm thinking, I'm thinking to myself, I'd never been kidnapped in my life. Totally forgot about the rest of it. But I mean, I did make the mistake when I was a child going, get me off this backwoods mud ball. I forgot to specify, don't bring me back.
Who told you that you were abducted? The doctor or shrink?
Yep. No, shrink.
Was that shrink, I guess, experienced in this field?
When I went to see him, my understanding was he was a GP, a child psychiatrist.
Okay.
Right. It wasn't and a hypnotherapist. Now, I wasn't aware of anything more until he made that comment. And I mean, that's the Reader's Digest version, but as it turned out, he was a GP, child psychiatrist, adult psychiatrist, a hypnotherapist, a specialist in UFO abductions, and a past life regressionist.
Wow.
Right, and in answer to the other part of the question, from my understanding, considering I was with him for 20 years, he had 30 years experience in each of those fields. Trained in England.
Interesting.
Now, of course, there's all that other little issue of, well, if it was a hypnotherapist, they could have implanted it.
That's weird.
And
you just said that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Lord knows I've questioned it my entire life.
Well,
but as it was put to me, when you've got so much circumstantial evidence that I've had and some physical evidence, you just give up questioning.
See, Lear, the guy who pulled out the implants, who passed away several years ago, nobody else is furthering that research of removing implants. And I heard there might be somebody that will be donating their time for this cause. But all those implants that Lear pulled out, I know there was one or two that had a signal supposedly coming off of it. And then all of a sudden it just disintegrated into nothing and no proof. So still, here we are stuck with no proof, even from the implants that this guy spent a long time of his career pulling out of people. Well, what evidence do you have?
That you would call evidence? Memory.
Well, no, that you. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that is evidence. It's just
I've got physical memory. I've had witnesses of my return.
Okay.
I remember waking up one morning when I was still married, and my wife took one look at me. I had a gash running from the center of my forehead to my right temple, one from the bridge of my nose to the right cheek, and one from my chin all the way to the carotid artery that were dead parallel. And I had blood all over the pillow. And she just looks at me and goes, I don't even want to know what you were fighting last night.
All right, let's move on to another question here. Zach is asking, Keith, have you ever been in an alien prison? If so, is it anything like a Turkish prison?
Bearing in mind I've never been in a Turkish prison, I have a problem with the comparison. Have I ever been imprisoned on an alien in an alien prison? No, but I have been in them.
You were locked up by aliens?
I have no compares to Turkish because I've never even looked into them.
What did you do to get locked up by the aliens? Were you hitting on the alien women a little too much or what?
Like I said, I went in there, yes, but I wasn't locked up. I went in actually to talk to the prisoners.
Who was locked up? Is that where Elvis is?
No. If you read the World Weekly News, probably 30 years ago, he got abducted and taken to Mars. Along with the dinosaurs, by the way.
Okay. All right, moving on. Lance is asking, do alien women give alien men Dutch ovens with the covers on Saturday mornings?
I'm sure there's a reference to that somewhere. I just have no idea what he's referring to.
Basically, you fart under the covers and then you pull it over your spouse's head. This really gone down the toilet.
Why the heck would anybody, number one, do that? Number two, ask?
Exactly. I just asked the questions raw here, man. Fap is asking, do aliens eat breakfast for dinner?
Oh.
Best I can tell you is if you take the definition of breakfast, which literally translates into break fast, the first meal of the day, they do not qualify what type of meal is breakfast, which may be the same problem I have because I've never differentiated between what the meal is so much as whether I eat.
All right, moving on. Zach is asking, oh, that's the alien Turkish question. He asked that twice. All right, Philip is asking, do aliens approve of their portrayals in films? If so, which films?
Well, it's not a question of approval. It's a question of it is what it is. But I can tell you if you want to get a look at some of the better films regarding certain races, Steven Spielberg's the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I think it was Steven Spielberg, but Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the original was absolutely perfect where it came to the rendition of the Greys, both the controllers and the scientists. If you look at Jupiter Ascending, then you get a good look at Tormenon. If you watch Predator, you're looking at the Modocs. If you look at Arrival, you're looking at the Udina. And Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver,
Yes.
is almost a perfect rendition of a chick-chock if you ignore the extending internal jaw.
All right.
Let me ask you something. Can I ask, Dave?
Of course
this is
you
important.
can. We got 4 minutes.
So we're indigenous to this planet, right? So when aliens come visit us, and apparently if Close Encounters is a really close depiction of what the aliens look like, how is it possible they're able to breathe our air and everything else without wearing any suit? And, because they could die. I don't understand how they could be immune to just coming around breathing here. Are they wearing
let's
suits?
not forget that their immune response system and their medical, they're not antibiotics, but whatever, the inoculations are far more advanced than what mankind uses. Secondly, if you take, they're actually the Greys are from a very highly oxygenated planet. So they're used to breathing oxygen itself. You will never run into a Pleiadian purebred. Not on this planet, at least not a live one.
So if they went on a planet that was pure methane, they would be okay?
In all fairness, I've never actually bothered asking what their actual atmosphere is. What I do know is that Earth's atmosphere will kill them in a heartbeat.
Wait a minute. I that's what I was wondering. So, all right, I'm confused. So,
okay, let's try it this way. The Greys come from an oxygen-based atmosphere.
Oh, the Greys. Okay, I thought you were saying the Greys would die. Okay,
No, the Pleiadians would die.
Oh, okay, I missed it. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Because from what I understand, this planet is so freaking rare that to have this mixture and combination of nitrogen and oxygen and helium and everything else, it just amazes me that anything would be able to breathe it other than if they were born here.
Honestly, it's not as rare as you might think.
Probably, yeah. I would imagine.
Let's sneak in one more question here as R. Keith Andrews is here for the ET Connection. Special guest Little Richie G from Goof On Radio. Steamwork trained Mark all the way in Australia is asking, Keith, have the aliens ever shown any technology of the craft when you have been on board?
Yep.
Kind of toys.
I'm guessing you want a little more than that.
Yeah, about 90 seconds worth.
Yeah, I actually got a real good view of their star drive, right, and a very solid explanation as to how it works. So, I mean, from that end, did it work out nicely? Did I get a look at it? Yeah. I actually talked to a Terran lass that has both her master's in rocketry and astrophysics. And I laid it out for her. It took me 2 hours to get to explain it because I don't have training here. But she said, and what she told me was it was so far ahead of them, they never even touch on it.
Wow.
But the technology they've got for the star drive, and I've actually got a picture of it here that I've sketched out. It's bad. No, I'm not showing you a picture on radio. Of the tool that the Greys use for DNA extraction.
Keep that thought. We're going to get to more audience questions. And, of course, I know Little Richie G will have some. Our special guest tonight, Rich Giordano from Goof On Radio. And, of course, it's Friday night, which means it's time for R. Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. We continue after the break on Spaced Out Radio. That's a good first half hour, gentlemen. Good, solid first half hour right there.
Yeah, very nice.
Hi, G.
Hey, D.
What's happening?
Howdy do. Well, the computer's going to be here Sunday.
Are you flying your drone this weekend?
I've been flying it every day except for yesterday, yeah.
Nice. Getting the hang of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went for as far as I've ever gone today, about a quarter of a mile, which isn't far, but it was awesome. Yeah, I went up to Troon.
Okay, I got to ask you. I apologize for cutting you off, but I have to ask you. I mean, because I know you get a little anxious. Weren't you a little anxious when your drone all of a sudden is like a quarter of a mile away?
Petrified. I'm petrified when I can't see it in line of sight, because that's what we're supposed to do. But my eyesight isn't what it used to be. But you have the screen to look at. When I first started, I wouldn't even let it go away from me, 400 feet. But it can go several miles. I think 7 or 8 miles. Very healthy with the signal and everything. That's far. I mean, we're talking you can go 35,000 feet. That's high as an airplane. But there's laws I got to follow, and FAA guidelines, rules and regulations, and all that. So they know everything you do.
Really?
If they want.
Oh, is there
everything's
like a
documented.
Really? Is there like a beacon or like I honestly don't know how it works.
There is.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not
They're
know
thinking
this.
about and now they're thinking about putting a law in place for recreational drone users because they could make it to where you can't fly. All they do is kill your signal and you can't fly. They will not give you approval. You have to get approved to fly. So you have to ask permission every morning. I have to ask permission. And they say, okay, you got to make sure you follow this, this, and this. And then I hit yes, yes, and yes, I will. And then they say, okay, you're cleared for takeoff. So that's why you have to get registered with the FAA. And I'm going to get what's called a 107 license. So I have the ability to fly the drone over a crowded area if I need to for business and things that are, more obstructive and it could cause damage. So that's what the 107 does. It's called the 107. Take a test, and
is that hard to get?
It's good for 2 years. No, you just have to take the test. It's 61 questions, $150, and you're good for 2 years.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You have to take it every 2 years. Not bad.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited about today. Some other drone user who is also a real estate agent, photographer, showed me so many options today. It was great. So he gave me a lesson for free. It was nice of him.
Oh, very nice. That's cool.
Yep. Every day except for 2 days, people have walked up to me or asked me questions. And that is the number one thing. They said that's actually going to become a problem because people do not like drones with cameras. They freak out. You can't fly that over here. It's private property. And I'm gonna get a lot of that. I could tell already in the first week.
Suplex them. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I know.
Just start practicing the suplexes. Figure four. Corey Squirrel Nuts in the studio says figure 4 leg lock. Richie G. Just knock him down. Give him a little clothesline. Throw him down in a figure 4 leg lock. Doesn't matter if it's grandma who's like 88 years old or a child who's like 4 and kicks you in the shins. Just do it, man. Just do it.
I will. And I prefer the camel clutch. So if I can get into that position, it's over.
It's totally over. You
love the camel clutch.
You imagine, getting Grandpa Sid in a Boston Crab after you clothesline him.
That would be so much fun.
I mean, this is the stuff I think of, right?
Yeah.
This is where I'm going. Oh.
But it is scary. And let me tell you, when you're flying it, it's an adrenaline rush. When I'm done, I felt like I just ran, it's very exhilarating. The best part is you get hit twice with excitement. Now that I flew it, when I get home, I'm going to watch it. And that's just as exciting.
That's kind of cool, actually.
You see all the stuff you couldn't see when you were flying. It's amazing.
I bet.
I love it.
I bet.
I love it.
How's it going, Keith?
Not bad. How about you?
Not bad at all, buddy. Not bad at all. Just drink.
I was just scanning through what's written in your on YouTube there, which is a good thing considering some of the questions I had to actually go and look for. I knew who it was and just had to go and look for it.
Who, for Richie?
I mean, you think about it. I've got in the one book, I've got 59 races in. I'm up to, I think, 35 in volume 2 at this point.
Sweet. Hold on, guys. We are literally 14 seconds away. Big thank you to Human Carl for kicking off the super chat. Greco following suit. Mr. Baklava, I appreciate that. Human Carl, you're a veteran. I love you, man. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much. Here we go, guys, with the second half hour of the show. There's a little thunder. Feel the thunder. Corey Squirrel, that's in the thunder. Thunder.
Thunder.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. Want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight, we are talking with R. Keith Andrews. It's the ET Connection. We're near the beginning of each month. Keith comes in to talk about everything strange and weird, and we have little Richie G with us from Goof On Radio as well. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Thank you very much for having me, and welcome back to everybody that's joining us.
All right, Keith. Next question from Jules, because this is audience participation here. And if you want a question for Keith, you got to jump into one of our chat rooms or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Jules is asking, Keith, how often do you go elsewhere with the others?
Usually once or twice a week, depending on what kind of situation I'm dealing with.
Wow.
Your son.
I mean, I was lucky
now Keith, your son has actually been looking for you in your house while you've been gone. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. There was one day about 4 months ago. I was getting off shift. Right. It's 10 o'clock on a Friday night. I was getting off shift, and I just looked at him and said, I got to run the garbage out. He goes, now bear in mind, he was only a few months back before that, but he was only 14 at the time. And he says, can I stay up till you get back in? And, that would have been, it should have been like close to 10:30 when I got back. I mean, it was a little after 10 when I handed out. I said, yeah, no problem. Well, when I came back in, he'd already gone to bed. I didn't think to look at the clock. So I went to bed. Next morning, I got up. I'm sitting in the living room, and he woke up after I did and come flying in, wrapped his arms around me, and he goes, you came back. I says, yeah. He goes, were you taken last night, Dad? He said, he says, I waited up as long as I could, but you didn't come back in, and I got too tired, so went to bed at 2 o'clock. I says, yeah, I told you I've been being taken all my life. He goes, yeah, but Dad, I didn't believe you. So then about 3 weeks after that, he looks outside and he looks at the moon and goes, Dad, what's that around the moon? Up on the top of the moon. I said, that's a starship. He goes, you're being taken tonight, aren't you? I says, yeah, it's a good bet.
Oh,
so he's learned to take it in.
It's like going out for coffee at Keith's house.
Right.
Hey, son, don't worry. I'm just going to go down to Starbucks and grab myself one of them frip frap double claps, whatever. I don't speak coffee talk, but, that's what it's like.
Okay, I don't drink that garbage anyway.
All right, next question. Millennium is asking, which aliens, Keith, are humans' greatest allies?
Oddly enough, the Suzosians. 7.5 to 8.5 foot reptilians are probably the best allies that we've got. Although the Mobians do run a close second. Of course, the Mobians are essentially human anyway. But the Suzosians they are the ones that really stepped in when we were going to be in serious trouble.
All right.
You know, they got here to intercept another race to protect Earth from it. At the time, the consortium, much as it governed this place, was not in the area. You know, they were occupied elsewhere.
Let's move on here. We're going to go visit Joey Bandanas in our Space Travelers Club. Keith, when you are in a spaceship traveling at the light of speed, or speed of light, pardon me, and you turn on a light, does anything happen?
Well, it goes from being dark to being a little brighter.
Oh,
Kind of like turning on the light in the dark in your own house. Yeah, I know, that sounds a little twisted, but the reality is when you're inside a starship, things operate as they do in a localized environment. It's not adversely affected by the world outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I will tell you, watching through there from the observation deck, going into a wormhole is phenomenal. It's something you never see here, or seldom anyway.
All right, let's move on to another question. Let's go to Twitter. Greco says, are there any living planet-sized aliens that we could feed flat earthers to, like the pit in Star Wars? Well, that's not very nice, Greco. That's not very nice.
No, but it was straightforward. Yeah. As far as planet-sized that eat people, no, but there are planet-sized races that you can run into. You know, of course, needless to say, except for one specific case, you aren't likely, humans on the whole are not likely to run into them. Primarily because of the fact that, well, we only get to one planet. Well, we get to more, but most humans are stuck on this one.
Little Richie G, what do you think?
What part?
Everything, man. You're sitting there quiet. I can feel you chomping at the bit here. You're chomping.
No. I'm just waiting for, a good time to jump in. I'm really just sitting back, just listening. I'll jump in when need be.
Okay.
But I think I don't. This is hard for me because I don't have any connection. I find things that if I can't do it, then it ain't happening type of deal with the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying it won't happen, because things have happened that I never thought would happen that changed my mind. So, maybe it'll happen to me so I can experience these things. I just want to experience a little bit.
Keith, Keith's intuitive. Keith, when's little Richie G going to get some aliens? He needs some aliens in his life.
The ironic part is he's already seen them. He just doesn't realize it. And I don't mean he does that you don't remember it. I mean, you literally don't realize it.
What, the shadows that I see?
That's some of them.
Better be all of them.
No, but it's a nice place to start.
Yeah, it's weird. When you go looking for it, you don't find it. When I'm just sitting around thinking of something else, then it happens. It's weird.
And that is usually the way it works. Mind you, you got to remember, most of these races have spent lifetimes, well, what humans call lifetimes, perfecting hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. I'm sure of it. Yeah.
But sometimes it's not what you see so much as what you don't. Now, I mean, in all fairness, if I were, would that I hadn't had as much run-in with them as I have. But you take a look at it. If you ever watch the stars, if you ever watch the sky, like the skies on a cloudless night.
Yeah.
And have you ever looked at the star patterns and seen stars wink out in existence?
No.
Wink out of existence. In other words, all of a sudden they're not there. Yeah,
no, never happened.
Have you ever seen a cloudless night?
In Arizona, yeah, we've got 350 days a year. It's sunny.
What's that like?
It stinks. It's boring. 7 inches of rain a year. That's all we get here. Yeah, I would like to see things. I've seen iridium flare satellites appear and disappear, but, then I've seen and recorded what people call fast walkers, some things that, wow, are they fast? And, looks like satellites, but how can it be going that fast? So,
well, that's just it. If you watch a satellite and all of a sudden it pulls a 90-degree turn,
right,
you can bet it isn't a satellite.
Right. I've never seen that yet, though. That's what I'm talking about. Everything's straight lines and dimming and brightening, but nothing spectacular.
Something to keep in mind on when you're watching the so-called satellites.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, satellites run north, south, east, or east-west, and don't ask me which way they start. But if you ever watch one running northwest to southeast,
I've seen them every single direction possible.
Okay, that's the thing you look at. The ones that are running north to south or east to west and vice versa, those are usually satellites, unless they're backing up on themselves.
Right.
The ones that run at the off points aren't satellites in most cases.
But don't satellites go in all directions?
No.
Okay, because I thought I looked that up and that I saw them going in all directions now. Because I used to think the same thing, north, south, east, and west. That's it. But I think they go everywhere now.
There's a lot of debris up there, but
true, yeah.
I think at last count there was something like 3,500 major chunks of it.
Oh no! Oh, major chunks? Like what do you consider? Like size of a car?
Probably.
Okay. Because there's thousands of stuff floating around, like 100,000 items, screws, screwdrivers, blankets,
monkeys.
Yeah, but things like that usually end up being dumped into the atmosphere and burning up.
One person.
Yeah.
One person went out with a tan. All right, we're getting behind on questions here. Shanna's asking, Keith, do you feel more people are abductees but just don't remember without assistance?
In a lot of cases, there are a lot that are. There are a lot that really don't know it, and that way they can be identified by some of their, shall we say, inexplicable fears and phobias. Like one question that I got asked years ago is, do I ever feel like I'm getting followed? And I went, yeah, all the time. So the question I was asked is, where do you look for the person following you? Most people will look directly behind them, right? But my answer was, I look up to the horizon, up on the rooftops up to the horizon, and I said, but that's normal. Apparently, only about 1% of people actually look that direction when they feel like they're being followed.
All right. Mystic is asking, Keith, do you know any species out there that has quantifiable teleportation?
Well, more to the point, I knew. Okay, and we've actually, there's actually skeletons of them on Earth. You've probably seen pictures of a dual hemispheric skull where it looks like there's a split skull, almost looks heart-shaped from the top, where both sides of the skull are overdeveloped. And I'm probably describing that really poorly, but they used to have quantifiable matter relocation, not technology. They did it by mind. The Mobians still can if they really choose to. But those are the only two that I can think of. The Mobians are still alive. The Zerons they're an extinct race. That's why I said they used to have it.
I have a question I want to ask, if that's okay.
Okay.
Are we as humans? Here's what I think we're all being abducted. I think we're living on more or less a prison planet for the aliens. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that we're here kind of living a life like as if it was a Matrix reality, like everything here isn't what it is. But even though it is, are we part of an experiment?
Well, quite frankly, you won't buy this one in all likelihood, but no.
Okay.
Is mankind indigenous here? Yep. Were they created technically by aliens? Technically, yes, because the planet wasn't here when the people that got here and built man arrived. They weren't from here originally. But this is not a prison planet. This is not a quarantine zone. Okay, humans are the dominant, sentient, technologically advanced surface-dwelling race. Net result, they are designated the caretakers of the planet, which, by the way, they're miserably failing at. But no, this is not a prison planet.
Because I think we were originally on Mars. It seems like our body clock is set to Mars more than it is Earth. And why did we lose all of our fur if we were coming from apes? Then all of a sudden we're hairless, pretty much.
Two major factors. One, man did, well, and unfortunately, this is what I know, and can I prove it? Not a prayer.
Okay.
Has man gotten to Mars? Yes, but are they from Mars? No. The Martokians are from Mars. As far as the lack of hair, that is an evolutionary jump that happened as mankind evolved. As they learned how to protect, how to create shelter and what have you, the hair became less and less necessary.
But we haven't found that missing link that, from ape to man. Or did they find it?
Well, no, because the reality behind that is the odds of them finding an evolutionary, a missing link per se, are not good. You see, apes were used as a template, but they were they were artificially accelerated. This is why you end up with the jumps. But something you may not be aware of is either last year or the year before I found out about it. There is a what are they called? I think they're called a tribe, but there might be another name for it. But of apes in Africa that have, there was one tribe that was found that has now evolved to the point where they are walking upright like humans. There is another family of them that have been found that are literally now making tools. So does evolution happen? Oh yeah. Thing is, as the intellect evolves, the physical nature of protection depletes itself.
But is it evolution from creation?
Are we talking about...
I want to know if we are evolutionary from apes, and because it sounds like you're saying that they interjected and altered us. So did they create the apes too?
Different race created the apes.
Okay.
All right, let's move on here. Carl is asking, Keith, do any aliens have a tour agency where I can book a holiday to some exotic planet?
Not that I'm aware of, but there's a whole pile that have menus. That's not necessarily a good place to go, by the way.
What, menus?
See, yeah, to go and participate in one of their menus.
Oh, no. No.
No, the reality is they are not permitted to shall we say, interfere that much. They are permitted as far as the issue of tracking and what have you go, to check the migratory patterns of humans, to check the evolutionary patterns, but they are not, on the whole, supposed to be picking people up and taking them around the universe. See, you got to remember, the biggest thing that the off-worlders are concerned with where it comes to humans is human curiosity and their total disregard for protocol. I mean, frankly, for humans to be released into that kind of environment could be absolutely devastating for a lot of people.
Makes sense. Jason is wondering, Keith, what's hiding out behind the sun?
Well, we should start with the small Battlefleet that's sitting on the other side of the sun. Actually, in all fairness, it's been sitting inside the sun's corona for, that I'm aware of about 20 years now. And yes, Terran scientists know about it. They were some ticked when I told them where it was, because I wasn't supposed to know about it, apparently.
All right.
But there is a battle fleet sitting there right now. They are not geared up to attack Earth. If they were going to attack Earth, the fight would be over before mankind ever even knew it was started.
Okay.
They are sitting there because of something else that's inbound that they don't want getting to this hub.
Interesting. So this leads to Julie's question. Is the sun a Stargate? Where are the on and off ramps for Earth?
No. But the sun is a great place to get one heck of a screwball jump. You jump inside the sun's gravity well, and you can end up just about anywhere, but you'll probably blow your engine. So they tend not to do that much.
Blow your engine?
The jump
Does not have enough oil or what? Little 5W30 there? Or?
No, it's a question of the gravitational stresses. So you got to remember, these guys, what they do is they do have the technology to run through wormholes. They don't travel through black holes because that's just fail. But they do use wormholes.
All right.
And outside the Kuiper belt, there is a jump point.
All right, we got.
Right, but they don't.
Sorry, go ahead, Keith. Finish up.
They don't jump from inside the galaxy, or inside the solar system, rather.
All right, next question comes from Nick. Does one group tell you the opposite things than another group, or use you to look into other groups? Are you a spy for the aliens, Keith?
Spy would be definitely the wrong word for it. As far as the first part of it, as far as does one group tell me one thing and another group tell me another, all the time. This is why I end up helping them understand each other. It's kind of like looking at two sides of an argument and going, where's the middle point? Do I work with them to help them understand the way humans are thinking and why? Absolutely. But if you're worried about whether or not I'm passing on Terran secrets, frankly, I don't have any. You know, the government doesn't let me in on their stuff very much.
Okay, 40 seconds left before we go to break at the top of the hour. Our Keith Andrews, Little Richie G, here for the ET Connection. And Nuck is asking, Keith, is the Earth hollow?
Yes, technically. It's not like we're sitting on a hollow sphere, but it is riddled with catacombs.
Interesting. Well, on that note, I'm going to get you guys to hold on because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Yes, my clock is officially right. We got the ET Connection going on with our Keith Andrews, special guest Rich Giordano tonight. Get into some big time alien talk. We got a bunch of questions from our audience. We are way behind on that. We're going to try and catch up here as well as Keith comes in at the beginning of each month. Hanging on out, talking all things extraterrestrial, ufological, because I know Rich hates it when I say that.
Yeah, that's such a wonderful word.
It is, isn't it? More Spaced Out Radio with our Keith Andrews right after this on the Mighty SOR. All right, guys, you chat. You guys chat away. I'm going to quickly run my dogs out.
Our dogs out, yeah.
Absolutely. Just don't run over them.
Don't forget we're live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Oh,
Go take yourself for a walk.
I'm taking myself for a walk, man.
That was bad. No, the reality of it is, Rich, I have questioned my sanity for as long as I can remember. But, from my, how do you tell if you're sane or not? You go to a shrink, right? Theoretically.
How do they know?
Well, I've been to 3 independent professionals that have all told me the same thing, that I'm perfectly sane.
Oh, I believe you are. Yeah.
You either have to look at it and go, either they're really whacked, or at least I'm functionally stable.
Well, there's also functioning sociopaths and functioning addicts, and so.
Well, true.
But I'm not saying that you're
that's okay.
imagining this. I mean, it's just.
I used to do that, not the sociopathic thing, but
Yeah. It is just. It's amazing to hear you talking about aliens like it's just normal, everyday something to you, which it seems like it is. But to just a regular person, it sounds impossible.
Absolutely agree.
Because they're not.
The only thing I've got going for me there, Rich, is I'm 57 years old, and this has been my life since day one.
Wow.
And to have it confirmed, well, the way my brother put it when I laid it out to him, he looked at me and he goes, like, I spent a lot of time talking to him. And he looks at me and goes, you've got enough circumstantial evidence for what you've got going on, where you could be convicted of murdering somebody 100 years before you were born. Right.
Yeah.
And then my father went and confirmed it on his deathbed and told me he specifically listed the whole 9 yards and told me flat out it was all real. Now, that's nothing for anybody else.
Yeah.
But it sure set my mind at ease a lot.
Don't you think maybe that's what he did? He was letting you off the hook?
Technically, it's possible, and I can't prove that one. You'd have had to know my father to know that my father didn't let anybody off the hook.
Okay. I understand. I got one of them too.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the interesting more. It's just, I mean, your wife, right? You still married, right?
Nope.
No, okay. But she, when you were married, saw you wake up bloody.
Oh, yeah.
And did she ever see you walking around, like sleepwalking?
You use the term sleepwalking. The answer is not technically. I did have somebody witness an overlay.
What? Wait, what?
I had one girlfriend that witnessed my return, as in I got dropped from the ceiling.
Whoa. Well, I know what an overlay is in computer terms, but what does it mean for you?
Basically, I had somebody borrow my body to take a look around.
That's what I thought it was. Interesting. That is so bizarre. You know what you just said really tripped me out, because I've talked about this on my own show where I said tonight, I don't even feel like I'm looking through my own eyes. I feel like somebody took over.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. Yeah.
You get used to it, but that's actually a lie, but you learn to cope with it.
It's you think you'd get used to it, but it's so odd that you can't. It's like I lost my memory and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I can't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, this is why, Rich, this is why I tell people that my life is more like science fiction than anything else on the market.
Exactly. We got 2 minutes, boys. 2 minutes. I'm really enjoying my water tonight. By the way, just a little update on Dave's weight, because I quit drinking Pepsi on June 1st.
Did you?
I did.
Congratulations.
Wow, you probably lost 15, 20 pounds by now.
Well, not that much, but I can tell you this. I haven't been on a scale in years. And I know I'm a little chunky, but I can tell you this. I am down 2 notches on my belt. 2 notches.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Amazing.
I'm pretty happy about that.
You should.
They say if you stop drinking soda, it's like ridiculous how much you lose. How does it feel now that you're not drinking it?
The first couple weeks were, I felt like shit. I felt like crap. And
Yeah, still sugar.
yeah, and then I remember it was a Wednesday about 3 weeks ago, 3.5. Yeah, maybe 3.5 weeks ago, where I woke up and I was so groggy and I felt just like crap. And then all of a sudden at about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, I just went into this buzzing where it was like all of a sudden I had all this energy, like all of a sudden it like the flushing of it just exited. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I was just like, whoa, like where the hell did all of a sudden this energy rush come from? And it was actually kind of cool. It was kind of cool.
And you've been okay since then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get as many headaches. So yeah, I put my cold turkey. I put myself through withdrawal.
If you really did quit, and I believe you did, and you haven't had a drink of any soda, if you go back to it, I don't think you're going to like it.
No, I don't think so. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Thank you to everybody who was participating in the super chat tonight. Really appreciate that.
Spaced Out Radio with Dave
And here we
Scott.
go with hour number 2.
Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out
I should
Radio.
get a phone call soon.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate you taking the time to join us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember to check out our archives. They are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What is it here? Let's have a little peek here. Comitatus. Comitatus is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. On Instagram, follow us at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Twitter, we are at Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, it's our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. Keith comes in once a month to break down everything extraterrestrial and all the weird stuff that goes along with it. Tonight, we are also joined by our special guest, Little Richie G from Goof On Radio. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on in. We really do appreciate it.
Great to be
Thanks for
back.
having me.
Oh, yeah. Keith, we got to burn through some of these questions because I am way behind here, okay? Andrew in the UK is asking, are there any gnomes in space?
Only involuntary.
Cool. Good enough. Worsley is asking, question on the reptilians. Why are they the biggest ally?
Well, because they interfered before anybody else did. That being said, the Swazians actually had a beef with the Teklak before the Teklak got here. So they found out about it and ran intercept. And it boiled down to an issue, and they hit it off reasonably well with humans. In spite of the fact that they scared the heck out of humans. Of course, humans get scared by their own shadow.
All right. Moving on here. The Jim Christie is asking, what alien should we be afraid of?
Well, depending on your outlook on fear, I would not recommend sitting down to dinner with Teklak. Tormundon will sell you to anybody. And quite frankly, the Moldocs are definitely not a crew that you want to play games with. Because they are professional. And now, you got to understand, with Moldocs, if you're unarmed, they'll leave you alone. The Moldocs only target viable adversaries. They hate hunting mushrooms.
Gotcha.
They will only go after ones that are combative.
All right. Nathan is asking, how can we tell in society if there is an alien walking around? Do they have any tells that we should look for? Good question, Nathan.
That varies quite drastically. I mean, for me, there are certain things that I can see in people where I can look at them and go, yeah, that's definitely a hybrid, or that one's definitely not from this planet. And the tell is their behavior towards certain things. But you got to remember, a lot of the aliens that are walking around here have been trained to interact in human society, so they can get a good look at it.
All right.
So it's not like they walk around with a great big banner on their forehead.
All right. Joe is asking, Keith, what kind of aliens take Dave?
Why, you want him not to bring him back?
Well, I don't know where he's going with this. I don't know.
Nordics.
What's that, Keith?
I said we do know you've dealt with both the Greys and the Nordics.
Yes. Very true. Very true. Okay, let's flip the question. What kind of aliens are taking Joe?
Now that I need a little more to go on. In other words, I have no idea. First and foremost, and don't take this wrong, Joe, if you're listening, but I don't know which Joe we're talking about or what the aliens are that we're dealing with.
Oh, he's got aliens, man. He's got aliens. All right. And let's move on here. Sharon is asking, if you are aware you see, if you are not, you see nothing. Had a friend ask me why I can see things and get photos and they see nothing even when they were with me. Why is that?
Well, because people have this brilliant idea that seeing is believing. The odd reality of it is that believing is seeing. And that's not just a case of wishful thinking. But if you do not believe that you're going to see them, frankly, it's easy to cloud your mind so you don't. And that's usually done by the person trying to watch, as in a self-protection method on their own.
Right. All right, let's move on here. Zach is asking, Keith, have you ever been on a spacecraft during a human abduction or been a part of one?
Aside from being the victim itself, the answer is yes. On both counts.
What's that like?
Well, you don't interfere with it, I'll tell you that. They've got their own protocols. But it is fascinating to watch how disconcerting the abductee can get. But you learn what I was fortunate enough to do was learn the extent to which these different races go towards making sure that mankind, that the people they take, are put back in one piece. They don't get it right all the time, and there are some of them that literally have no clue how humans work. You know, vegans, for instance, because they've got no pain center at all themselves, they have no way of making things more comfortable. They do not understand why humans yell, right, at all. They don't understand fear, so they've got no compensation for it. You know, and trying to get an anesthetic from a race that does not have a pain center, good luck. You know.
All right, moving on. The Stu Gerson is asking, should Dave consider donating his hair to the Greys? I'm not donating my hair to any aliens. I'm not doing that. Come on.
No, I do believe you have a different thing you've done and donate your hair to periodically.
Actually, I have someone who is about to go through chemotherapy, and this person has asked me for my hair. So I said, yes, absolutely. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
How old are they? 70?
Maybe. I don't know.
You got a lot of gray. Yeah.
Wow. Just a shot at my hair right there, G. Thank you. Wow.
I think I owed you that one.
You totally owed me that one. Oh,
That was an easy one.
No, that was a good one. Thank you so much. Let's go to the
very
Spaced Out Radio SOR Space Traveler. So, Richie, I love you. And Joey is asking, Keith, I live in full sight of NORAD in Colorado. Do they have interaction with the fast walkers?
Wouldn't be a shock from my end. Because of the fact I'm actually not down there with them, I don't entirely know who all they're dealing with. But it certainly would not be a surprise from my end, because I do know NORAD knows about a number of the different races that are floating around.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know that for an absolute certainty, but exactly which ones I don't know.
All right. Let's see if we got any more questions from our audience, or if we're caught up. Okay. Adnome is asking, if aliens like to eat humans, why don't they eat apes?
Yeah, here's a cute thought, but who said they don't?
Ooh. I don't know.
Coco. She signed it. Coco, the talking orangutan, right?
I thought she passed away.
Sign language?
I thought she passed away.
Yeah, she did.
Coco was the one that learned. I thought it was a grill, but yeah, Coco knows how to speak sign language.
Yeah, she passed away a couple of years ago, a year ago or something like that. All right.
No, I wasn't involved of the funeral.
I don't know, but that ape doesn't lie.
No. Wonder if it's in their genes. All right, let's ask you. Brutus here. Thank you so much, Brutus, for the super chat on YouTube. Appreciate that. He is asking if you could explain the aliens' interest in us humans, and are there religious implications? He says yes.
Oh, there are staggering religious implications.
Yeah.
But their interest, in a nutshell, is mankind in Terran civilization is on the verge of jumping another step forward or destroying itself altogether. So their primary interest at this point is the xeno-socioeconomic ramifications of this modification. Now, the religious implications are literally people are questioning, was God an alien? Well, technically, because God was not born on Earth, technically the answer would be yes. But from a overall rendition, regardless of what you call God by, and do your own research, it tells you, if we go to the King James Version, it tells you right there, God is known it has many children on many worlds. Right. So people that are trying to pin down, is God an alien? Well, by clinical definition, he wasn't born on Earth. So that makes him alien. It's kind of like, regardless of where you are on Earth, wherever you're born, you're native. But the ramifications are absolutely mind-boggling. And we could get really badly sidetracked on that topic.
All right, moving on here. Evasius is asking, what's inbound that the fleet behind the sun is watching out for?
Well, that's the easy part. That is a mechanoid race. And they are, when we talk about clear-cutting a planet, what these people do is they will take every stitch of mineral, of every commodity that's available on the planet. They will wipe it out. They will take the minerals, they will take the water, they will take the indigenous life forms. Okay, and that's where the big problems come in. Okay, because that race See, the consortium is here to make sure that Earth does not get wiped out, and amongst other planets, right? So of course these guys are they're inbound and they will be dealt with, but you got to understand there are a lot more problem. There's a lot more problem there than just tell them don't do that. Primarily because they don't listen.
All right. Joe is asking, why did the Greys make Dave go out to Tim Hortons to buy donuts? It happened once. It happened once. There was communication in my backyard. Keith was on the phone with me. And instead of going to the lake, I said, Keith, I got to make a run to Tim Hortons. They just never let me live that down. Never let me live that down.
Comical personally.
I wanted a donut and an ice cap. I figured if I was going for a ride, I was going to Tim Hortons first. It's a Canadian thing to do. Totally Canadian thing to do.
Pretty much.
Rich, help me out here.
For what? What do you need?
Well, I mean, you would have went for donuts and an ice cap too. If aliens were calling you to a different part, maybe going for a ride. You don't want to go on an empty stomach.
No, I don't want to get dizzy or anything because you don't know if they're serving what you like.
Exactly.
Nice part about the replicators, it's easy to get what you like.
Mm-hmm. All
How
right.
do they know?
I don't know.
How do they know what me tastes like?
Oh, they don't. All they know is the chemicalogical configuration. But they do know what a cow looks like, and therefore bringing one up is easy.
Well, there you go.
It looked a lot more difficult in the movie The Fly.
Yeah.
To replicate.
And those guys have no clue what humans eat. Mind you, they're more interested in eating humans than they are in what humans eat.
I don't get it. You get it, Rich? I don't get it.
I'm hungry right now, so I don't know.
I can take you for it. Apparently, I can take you for a donut.
Don't eat my food.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over
You did the right thing.
Let's go over to Twitter here because I know Greco has about 75 questions here.
Oh, Richard's here?
Yeah. He's asking, has anybody ever been abducted during another race's abduction? Have abductees ever been ransomed to another alien race?
They've also been sold to other alien races.
Wow. I never thought of that.
Tormanons are notorious for selling to the highest bidder.
And do what with us?
Well, that depends entirely on what the bidder is buying you for. The slave trading, entertainment, snack food,
Oh. I don't like this. See, this is why disclosure can't happen.
Oh, Rich, if you get abducted into the slave trade, you're going to be an absolute, love machine for the alien women.
No, they're going to eat me. I'm tasty.
True, but at least you go out with a bang, right?
Oh, all right. See, I didn't think of that.
Always a positive, my friend. Always a positive.
I know, I'm so negative. I got to change my blood type from O negative to B positive.
As a matter of fact, if you can get your blood type turned into something humans don't have, that'll virtually guarantee you get picked up because now they're going to want to know what the heck happened.
Do we have beacons?
You mean as in, can they find you regardless of where you are?
Is our heart a natural beacon for them? Like they don't have to put an implant to find a specific person?
Well, quite frankly, yes.
Really?
Sub-quantum tracking. Actually quite simplistic to do.
Wait. From birth, I'm not talking about putting an implant. I'm saying...
No, I'm referring to that. I realize what you're asking.
Okay.
See, every human, their heart gives off a different subquantum para-optical emanation that can be tracked. It is a fingerprint of energy.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, you got it, man. You see, he is smart.
He is a good. I know.
I could have asked that to other people, and they'd be like, "Wow, I don't know. What do you mean?"
I had no idea what you were asking.
You're so stupid. I mean that.
Oh, thank you.
No, I don't. I'm joking.
Thank you.
I'm joking.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something.
So is this where we sit here and go fight?
Pretty much.
Oh, no. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right. I just noticed that my studio door just opened, and my dog, Doug, has decided to walk in. Hey, Doug. How you doing? I guess.
Well, if he walks in on 2 legs bringing a cup of coffee, say thank you.
Well, if he comes in on 2 legs and carrying a cup of coffee, I know that ain't Doug. That's something impersonating Doug. Anyways, Jules is asking, do aliens have pets, Keith?
Yep. How was that for a short answer?
What kind of pets?
The Udina actually left their pets behind, and we have a bit of a problem with them on Earth right now, also known as octopi and squid. Then you've got the chupacabra, which the Teclex left behind.
Do you know by chance what would be the largest living creature in the galaxy or universe or whatever? Like, it doesn't have to travel from place. It could be on a planet, because there's planets that are ridiculously huge. So I would imagine those creatures would be huge. Do you know anything about sizes of other animals?
I'm just looking for a name here. Just make sure. No, that's wrong. Oh, there we are. Okay, the largest one, and I mean, they vary in size, but the largest independent race that I know of is also known as a Cabora. Okay, they are primary solitary, but they do periodically reconnect with each other. From mankind's standpoint, that will be a problem, because a Caboran, the other name for it, is a planet. You're standing on one.
Oh, so they're alive.
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I've been saying that forever, that the Earth is alive, I think. But I mean, I could be a stretch. But that is amazing.
No, you're absolutely correct. It is alive.
Oh, okay.
It is. Essentially, a Caboran boils down to what humans would call a colony. It's not really.
Okay.
Okay. What a Caboran is, the planet. Everything that grows on it is kind of like a dog has fur on it.
Yeah.
And then ends up periodically getting ticks.
That's crazy. Like, the human body is its own ecosystem too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's a trip.
That's awesome, actually.
I know, right? Can you?
The sad part is scientists figured out years ago that negative energy will kill a plant.
Like what we're doing now, yeah.
And the problem with that is mankind did not pay attention to it, and the amount of negativity that's out there today is causing problems for Earth. Net result, Earth is retaliating.
Do you really think that, I mean, you could take every person and stack them all side by side in the state of Texas. We're not really, I mean, we're covering the planet, but we're not really, are we really making this kind of damage? You really think so?
Oh, I know for an absolute fact they are.
Really?
I call it absolute fact, but that being said, I'm not referring to the pollution that mankind is creating. That's certainly not helping.
No, I know.
I'm referring to the negative energy of so many people fighting with each other.
Yeah, no, I know. For like the last 3 months, yeah, it's been awful.
Horrible place.
Well, I mean, you've got to, we can get really sidetracked there, which is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, considering we have like 25 seconds left, we're going to quickly shove this question in from FAP. Keith, which kind of aliens probe the most gently?
Oh.
Definitely the Greys.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that
Also
nice?
known as
That's gentle.
See, if it was a Canadian Grey, he would say sorry at the end. All right. On that note, we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection continues right after this. More questions from you, the audience. Special guest, Rich Giordano. Little Richie G from Goof On is here as well. We're all having a great time. I hope you are too. Enjoying the woo on Spaced Out Radio. It's a good half hour.
That was good. I've been saying that for years. The Earth must be alive. Sorry, Dave.
She is.
Say?
No, it's alive. It's alive.
It's people.
What people seem to forget is if she gets annoyed enough, mankind has not got a prayer of surviving her.
No.
I mean, go back, 25 years, Kobe, Japan, touted as being earthquake-proof. 45 seconds later, she'd flattened the city. Now, granted, at only 1% loss of life, they did a staggering job engineering-wise.
Yeah, but all they got to do is throw out Yellowstone, have Yellowstone burp.
Well, this is one of the things we're working at, is trying to get 4 or 5 volcanoes local to Yellowstone to go off in order to relieve the pressure.
Oh.
It's either that or get Kilimanjaro to detonate.
Yeah, but it's overdue, Yellowstone. It's gonna go. It does every 125 or 625,000 years.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. You call it overdue. Mother Nature says it's on time.
I know. What do I?
Yeah.
True.
Damn Mom Nature. She could be such a bitch sometimes.
She can be.
Hey, let's boot through some of these questions so I can catch up in the chat room. Let's go quick here, Keith. Okay, this is just for the YouTube crowd. Bama is asking, which aliens want to take over Earth?
Fortunately, none. Aside from the Xenon, which are the mechanoids coming in that are inbound. The rest of the races don't want to take over Earth. In all fairness, they don't want to take it over. They just want to absorb it. But the reality is they're more interested in watching Earth than they are taking it over. So we got to realize they are not here to start a war. They're not here to take over the political system. But this is one of the rare times that they actually get to watch a race hit that evolutionary point between ground-based and capable of star travel.
Right. Okay. Next one from Joe. Keith always says aliens are unemotional. Which aliens are the most emotional?
The Orions. The Mobians run a close second. But the Orions, I would have to say, are probably one of the more emotional off-worlders.
All right. Adnome is asking, how many gnomes fit in your pocket?
Absolutely none. I won't let them near them.
Beautiful. Excuse me. Sharon is asking, what is under the mesa at Skinwalker Ranch? The mesa lights up at times and EMF off the charts.
Now, I can't say for certain because I haven't actually looked into it, but my suspicion is pretty simple. You're likely looking at a ground-based starbase. A landing point. Which would put an entire communications array underneath Skinwalker Ranch.
True. All right. Let's +1 that. Lance is asking, Rich, is your jaw on the floor yet?
No, I still have it in my hand. It's almost, it fell, but I caught it. So I guess that's close, but no, not yet.
All right.
I'm sure it will, though.
Greco, I know you have a bunch of questions on Twitter. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat room here. Jules wants to know, Keith, who are the ring makers?
Now, I'm a little lost on that.
Me too. Okay, moving on.
Saturn's rings.
Saturn? Jupiter's ring.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Jupiter.
Jupiter has a ring. It's very hard to see, but it actually does have a ring.
But nobody talks about Jupiter. They talk about...
I mean, that is a side effect of nature. That wasn't built per se.
So it's like having a case of gout or something.
No. That one was a side effect of the local galaxy.
Okay.
Of the local solar system.
30 seconds, Keith. Fitness Girl is asking, do alien races have a music and entertainment industry?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. I'm almost caught up here. Oh, God, maybe I'm not even close.
Probably not.
All right. Never mind. Hey, thank you to everybody doing the super chat. Richie, I love you, man. Thanks for coming on in tonight. And here we go, Keith.
Oh, yeah.
Love you too, our Keith. You're awesome. You're a good guy.
Forgive me if I don't say I love you. I don't like to overuse it because it loses its value. I do.
I know. Here we go.
Don't try to shush me. Oh, shush.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate your time. I want to remind all of you that if you have missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection turns up your woo tonight as we got the train fully on track. But we may go off the rails here because that's what we like to do. We are joined by Little Richie G from Goof On Radio as our special guest. Let's continue with the audience questions here. Keith, Chris Mo wants to ask, is there ownership of the solar system? Are all aliens communal?
Number one, nobody owns the solar system. That would be classified in galactic terms. That would be classified as slavery, and it's really hard to sell a Caboran. They don't cooperate well. So, no, there are different races that have laid claim to a planet, but from that standpoint, humans are the caretakers of Earth. The Martokians are the caretakers of Mars. The Mobians are the caretakers of Mobius. Okay, and of course you've got various other races on various other planets. The funny thing is, Earth is not the only planet that is occupied. It just happens to be the only one that Earth has occupied in great extent.
All right. Bomber is asking, if we dream of aliens, a very vivid and lucid dream, is it possible that it was real? Do they visit in dreams?
Technically, do they visit in dreams? No, not usually. They can. But more often than not, if you're having that kind of a real vivid dream, especially if there is appropriate emotion tied to it, the odds are pretty good you're dealing with them directly and just are not entirely aware of it.
All right, we can accept that. Goddess Michelle, who is a nurse, and let's give her a clap for being a nurse during these tough times right now through COVID. Thank you, Michelle. And she is asking, are merfolk aliens?
No, they're ancient race. The merfolk, well, depending on which ones, but there's a number of different types, but they are ancient races. They were here before mankind got here. When you take a look at what most people call seafaries, they were terrestrial. They were surface dwellers and moved into the water when they had to. And then evolved down that line. And I mean, the reality is that when you take a look at, like, sirens are a member of the merfolk, of what humans call merfolk. They are very real. They do tend to swim amongst Duggans and manatee, which is one of the reasons why the ancient sailors used to see, or used to think that the manatee were mermaids, because mermaids are very real. But they're an ancient race, as in they evolved on Earth.
All right. Greco on Twitter is asking, are there any aliens that can open up wormholes with their minds?
Yep. How was that for a short answer?
Richie can.
The Udina could if they wanted to.
I think Richie can too.
You want to get nasty ones, take an Udina hybrid. They're likely to, just on principle. But let's be clear. They open, as he asked, wormholes. They do not open black holes, nor are they interested in opening black holes.
Makes sense.
So they open them up. Do they go through them or just look through them?
No, wormhole technology is actually one of the methods of interstellar travel.
Right.
The Thrasazians use wormhole technology along with their OTE drive in order to get to their homeworld.
Like Stargate?
Not exactly. There's a difference between a Stargate and a wormhole.
Oh.
A Stargate, although it looks similar the way that they depict it on TV, a Stargate is what you would call a teleport. It's a literal technical machine designed for matter relocation. Wormhole technology is literally traveling through a wormhole, kind of, if you will, kind of like a bobsled run. They're a riot to go through. Picture, if you will, going through a bobsled run where you're looking at kaleidoscopic glasses on the way down. It's a head rush.
Yeah, but it's not twisting and turning, is it?
Yeah.
Why? That's what they do in the movies. Don't say that. Just they get there in an instant. That's
okay,
it.
you can say it that way. I hate to pop your bubble, but it's wrong.
Is it?
It does twist and turn.
Why?
Because, contrary to popular belief, a straight flight from Earth to anywhere, from any one location to another, you can virtually guarantee is going to take you right through the heart of a star. And you have two major problems there. One, it'll kill you as the traveler. Two, it'll blow the star apart. In both cases, we were dealing with a really bad side effect.
But if they could build that technology, they would make it so you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and that is a wonderful thought. They can travel, like their communication lines do travel straight line and do manifest where they need to. Problem is, you're talking about way more variables than what you're thinking. See, if you think in terms of just the physical, then you're doing fine. But you got to remember, every physical object has the physical, the mental aspect, the energetic aspect, the liquid aspect. It's all got different vibratory rates, as well as the optical inference, which also modifies the whole thing, and it's all got to be taken into consideration. In the movie Pocahontas, there's a song that was played that is called Paint with All the Colors of the Wind. It's all too accurate.
Every single cell has to be, put together again.
Bingo. Now, mankind never understood. When Einstein handed out the theory of relativity, Einstein gave up telling people what it was. But the formula that he gave, that Einstein gave for the theory of relativity, is not, the one that you're taught today is not the actual theory of relativity. It was a mathematical configuration that worked, but it had nothing to do with the theory of relativity.
Well,
and mankind couldn't wrap their brain around that one. So trying to explain to them the extreme calculations necessary for wormhole maneuvering was just completely out of the equation.
All right. Another question from Joe. What is the mechanism that you use, Keith, to get taken physically?
Well, it's not like I asked for it. Therefore, more often than not, it is simply a matter of relocation on their part, what you would call a transporter. Transporter, teleporter, you know. I mean, for me, it's kind of trippy, but I'm used to it.
All right. Let's move on here. Another question from Joe. What makes UFOs fly? Is it fuel, mechanics? Do they have force fields to keep them from hitting things in space?
Well, the short answer is the oscillator densification of the tri-transportation polarity. That probably didn't help a lot, but that is what they use. It literally boils down to a subquantum calculation based on the graviton matrix.
Rich, you're
the problem with it is
you're a Toyota.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say you're a Toyota Matrix kind of guy.
It's just there's so much junk flying around in space that no alien technology would be able to detect from point A to point B. Even if you're dematerializing and rematerializing, it's like, aren't you going to run into something like even a speck, like a pebble, would annihilate you? Am I thinking the wrong way?
That's the problem with Terran calculations. Okay. They've still got this brilliant idea that it can't be done. And until mankind figures out that it's not a question of it can't be done, it's a question of mankind hasn't figured out how to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's true, though.
See, it used to be that mankind thought it could not be done. You could not sail out past the horizon without falling off the planet. And as we discussed earlier, there's still people here that think that's the case.
Wow, the good old days. The good old days. Don't go over the horizon, son. You fall off the planet. Well, come on. I can't be the only one who thinks that's funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I run into problems with, you know, and this is where I get frustrated, is limited thinking. You know?
All right, let's move on here. Vin says, I've been waking up in the morning feeling tired and like I've been tested for hours. You think it's an alien abduction or a dream? I can't really remember specific things.
From my standpoint, it would not be a shock to find it's a taking, that it's an abduction. Mind you, I mean, the qualifier there is, if you're going to bed constantly thinking, is it going to happen? Your mind will not rest, and you'll end up not getting any sleep either.
Why can't it be that he's maybe pre-diabetic and needs to eat something?
It could be.
I know. He's just...
Boy, way to break the woo streak on a Friday night, man.
Well, we jump to aliens, and it's like, wow. I mean, how do you get that from, I woke up, everybody wakes up tired.
Oh, it's called instinct.
Yeah, I guess.
If there's one thing I learned to trust more than I trust logic, it's instinct.
That's true.
Damn instinct.
Unfortunately, where it comes to my emotions, where it comes to interacting with other people, instinct isn't quite as reliable as I'd like.
Darn instinct.
No, but it's better than other stuff. I like your answers. It makes sense what you're saying.
I know. That's why we love him around here. I know. Fap is asking, if I got abducted and probed, Would it be because they wanted my human DNA or just for pleasure? Because some people like that.
I'm going to throw a wrench in your pocket, but more often than not, it's because of not necessarily the DNA. They may just be looking for something else. But there are a few of them that'll do it just because.
Fap, there's hope for you having fun yet, man. There's hope for you yet. Nathan is asking, where do dogmen come from and why are they here?
Well, that depends on which one. I mean, quite frankly, there's a great deal of them that actually got here from Sirius. And that being said, why are they here? Well, pretty much because they can be.
Makes sense. Makes logical sense. All right, and let's go on here as we continue on with R. Keith Andrews and Little Richie G on the ET Connection. Evasius is asking, are stars sentient?
Yeah. Stars are simply and that's one of the things I got to go and deal with them. Stars are a similar race to the Caboran. Because the Caboran use the heat from the stars and the optics and what have you in order for them to breathe. But in all fairness, I haven't gone and talked to the stars yet to really get a handle on it. Primarily because, well, they're on the list of ones I've got to deal with. This is why Volume 2 keeps getting more and more races added to it.
Makes sense.
Do you know what the... I'm sorry, I had no idea you were going to speak.
No, that's okay. You go right ahead. You can have a turn.
But thank you, because you said earlier I could interrupt you. I wanted to ask, do you know what the scar on Mars is caused, or was caused from, or how that was created? I can't speak. Plasma.
In all fairness, my problem with answering that question is simply I haven't taken a look at the photographs that I'm dealing with. That being said, I can tell you that the Martokians used to live on the surface. They moved underground after a massive conflict there that dang near wiped their race out. So I'd be inclined to say it was likely an impact point. But that's just that's based on it simply being classified as a scar by you. I haven't actually looked at a picture of it.
Okay.
All right. Fitness Girl is asking, Keith, do you have information you have been told but you're not allowed to share with the people on Earth?
I've got a staggering amount of information I've been told that I haven't relayed, but in all fairness, the only thing that I do not disclose is locations of bases underground and stuff that the government has very clearly gone, the Terran government has gone to clear efforts to stay out of. Like, I'm just not interested in the conflicts that can come out of it. But as far as the races go, and like as far as off-world and for that matter, ancient races, the only thing I have been told point blank, do not spread around, is access points. And the reason for that is very simple. If, for instance, the gateway to the inner Earth were revealed, okay, and all of a sudden humans, being the curious individuals they are, were to breach that entry point, there would be a war that would end with one outcome, and mankind would not be the winner, regardless of how plucky humans seem to think they are. They do not have the capability of stopping a fireball caused by muttering a few words and pointing a finger. Mankind has no defense against this.
They have no defense against Karen?
Against Karen?
I don't know. Anyways, Rich, I thought you would laugh at that. I really did.
I did.
You snickered. You snickered.
Because I'm trying not to sneeze. My allergies are killing me.
Oh, yes. Okay, moving on.
It's true.
No, I hate that. I've been getting that lately, too. Martin is asking, Keith, who controls the constellation of Aquarius?
Would you believe me if I said nobody? It was set in motion and it runs of its own accord. See, the layout of the stars was partially orchestrated, partially natural evolution dealt with it. You know, it's kind of like you can set a boat on afloat on the ocean, but the ocean will shove the boat places if you're not paying attention. So technically, nobody controls the constellation.
All right, moving on. Fitness Girl wants to know if aliens like to gamble.
Absolutely. Problem is, their gambling, from human standpoint, is more often than not what you would likely call fatal. See, humans call it gambling when you're playing with dice and slot machines and what have you. Right, except for some of the more adventurous ones that try doing things like base jumping. Right. Of course, the aliens going base jumping will do that without the parachute. You know, the gamble being, will you live through the impact?
It's like listening to one of Rich's shows.
Right.
I think that was a slight there, Rich.
I can't tell anymore.
I don't know.
That's funny.
Well, you burned me. You burned me earlier.
Oh my goodness! After you got me like 10 times in a row.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you.
Fun.
I love you.
Nobody's keeping count. I know.
Okay.
Believe me, I know.
2 minutes left before we got to take a break at the top of the hour. Our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection continues on here. Oh, I think I've lost control here. Joe is asking, now that Rich has a drone, is he more likely to be visited or taken?
No. How's that for a subtle answer?
Oh, Keith, give Rich some hope with some aliens here, man. Like, what do we got to do? Put out a classified ad? Do they have aliens list up there that we could put a profile up for Rich? Plentyofhumans.com?
7.5 billion people on this planet, right?
I understand that, but I care about one here.
Yeah.
And also, I've been trying to reach out for 16 years.
Exactly.
So where do I get the reward?
You're due. You are due.
Well, here's the problem. You call 16 years a long time. There are a few races on this planet, the planet itself being one of them. But I know of one nice little race, Laborians, who only live 35 years. Of course, the problem with that is for them, one day is as long as 1,000 years on Earth. So for them, you know, this 16 years you're dealing with is absolute pocket change.
Yeah,
Not
I know.
even, but
don't I get
you consider
credit?
it a long time, and they really don't.
Come on, he needs some aliens, Keith. Put in a good word for him. That's what he's asking here.
I mean, yeah, can't they tell all the other 8 billion people aren't sending up signals from their mind every day? I mean, can't they tell? This guy keeps coming over from Phoenix. Look, there it is again. It's like
there's the G.
Fast radio burst.
Right there. It's the G, man.
Yeah.
It's crap.
See, this is where I kind of look at it and go, do you want me to be honest with you, or would you like me to lie and make it sound really good?
Well, I
want the lie like everybody else.
I think Rich is pretty much due for the lie now. He'll take the lie, you know. All right. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Keith, hold on right there because we're going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. We have him for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio, along with special guest Little Richie G from Goof On Radio. We love these two around here. We're having a lot of fun tonight. I hope you are too. And we're going to continue that fun in hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio. It's good hour there. Fast hour. Manly hour. Manly.
I got to go walk your dogs.
Me too. Keith, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll be right back too.
Okay.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and...
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, hello. I'm still here.
Good. Happy 4th of July to all of our American listeners. I hope you guys have just an awesome one. I do. How you doing, Art Keith?
I'm still trying to keep out of trouble. Ain't been caught, not in trouble.
Oh, very cool.
Although I've been come close to put my foot in it all the way to the hip. You know. No, it's amazing to me how fast people can get sidetracked.
All right. We've got 2 minutes. That was a good puff there, Rich.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that, I was quite pleasantly surprised. I got my calls earlier for work, and then nothing after the show started.
Yeah, everybody's got it off, right? Now, the holiday? Does it matter that it's a holiday?
I'm sure it matters for somebody. I never see the difference. I keep forgetting which one's which. Plus, reality is working from home and doing as much of the puttering around here that I do. I lose track of what day of the week I'm on, never mind what holidays there.
Yeah, I was surprised this morning that we're celebrating it on the 3rd, on a Friday instead of Monday. But I guess it's closer to the 4th.
You know what? 9 years ago, Rich, I was going to visit friends down in Pennsylvania, and I had to catch a connector flight from Vancouver out of Toronto. And the minute we crossed Lake Ontario into the U.S., watching the fireworks, if anybody ever gets the opportunity to do this, fly somewhere in the U.S. on the 3rd of July. Seriously, because from Lake Ontario, when we crossed over Buffalo, New York, and started flying towards Pittsburgh, I had a non-stop fireworks show, dude, right underneath me.
Wow.
It was the most...
How cool.
It was the most incredible thing I have ever seen in the sky. Oh, yeah. Hold on, gentlemen.
Well, that's what I'm going to try to do tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
I tell you,
you got to do that. You totally got to do that.
Cool.
Here we go. Music's on.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. All of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Comitatus. Comitatus is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam says the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. For the final time tonight, we introduce our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. Keith comes in near the beginning of each month, hang out, talk some aliens and extraterrestrials and all things in between. Joining us as a special guest from Goof On Radio, Rich Giordano. And you know we love little Richie G around here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging on out with us tonight.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right.
Rock me Comitatus.
Excellent. Actually, I just got that. Good job, Rich. Good job on that one. That wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all. You're quick-witted. Quick-witted. By the way, if any of our listeners haven't subscribed to Goof On Radio Stream yet on YouTube, do so. It's great. It's great entertainment 5 days a week. Sometimes 7. Sometimes 6. Do it. Goof On Radio Stream. Frapsap is asking, Keith, what extraterrestrial race has the most technologically advanced handheld energy pistols?
Well, that's an excellent question. I love it. The most advanced, I'm not entirely certain what the qualifier would be, but we do know Zerons are extremely adept at it. Now, of course, you know, if I want to look at it on the easy access, the consortium itself have some of the best vehicle mounted. Not the handheld, but when you start looking at sonic impact drivers, mankind is very limited on its methods. So I'm not entirely certain how I would calculate which one was the most advanced. We've got weapons that will incinerate somebody on the spot. There's one out that I know of it's a brilliant weapon, but it's nasty as all get out. It's literally a coagulator. Sonic burst hits and it literally solidifies every drop of blood in the body.
Don't we have that now in testing or something?
Humans have lasers in testing. Technically, humans have a coagulator in testing, but they're not using it for a weapon.
Okay.
Which is amazing in and of itself. See, if mankind were to spend more time trying to actually get along with each other and work together, they can make much better advancements. Because, it's so much easier to do technological research when you're not ducking and trying to avoid getting shot.
Right.
Yeah, that happens. Little bit of aliens.
Survival of the fittest, right?
Exactly.
The one thing that I have found from the off-worlders that are military-based is mankind's predilection for the rules of war. They find, quite literally, the military-based off-worlders look at that going, if you're going to have a war, why would you have rules? It's not like anybody's going to follow them anyway.
Could be.
What? Why would they have rules? Yeah.
Well, mankind's got rules for everything.
Yeah, but that's a human way of thinking, though, right?
Exactly the point.
But if they're technologically advanced, I would have to think that they evolved many other ways to get to that point. It's a way of thinking, a way of life.
Have almost wiped themselves out. Martokians being an obvious example.
Really? Okay.
Right. That's why they look at with mankind. They take a look at the conflicts that mankind has, and they go, "Those people are playing at war." I had a long conversation with the military advisor of the consortium, and they literally laid it out for me how an invasion on Earth would take place if they wanted to take it over. And by the time mankind knew about it, there would be nothing mankind could do.
I knew it. That's what I say.
Mankind still has to rely on line of sight in order to communicate.
Yep.
Hence why they put satellites up there for communication. Off-worlders don't. Because don't forget, there is distance between the molecules of everything. Okay. And you fire a tight beam communication line, you can cut right through a planet and talk to the people on the other side without any degradation of signal.
All right, let's move on here. Paradoxine is asking, do the Greys ever apologize for inflicting damage?
I'd use the term apologize a little loosely, but do they compensate for it as much as possible? Yes. And this is where you get the memory screens. It's their way of trying to make things a little easier to cope with. I mean, from their standpoint, you look at it this way. If you go into the doctor and the doctor has to operate, the doctor does not apologize for you being in pain. The doctor does what he can to compensate, but he doesn't actually apologize for it. He may sympathize with it, but apology not that I've ever seen.
That's just so impolite. So impolite.
Yeah, so it's abducting people in the first place, but...
All right, Tiger Lily is asking... let me just get it here, because it's on LGAB. Are there both flesh and blood aliens and nuts and bolts UFOs, as well as interdimensional paranormal phenomena?
Well, number one, the first two are absolutely. The interdimensional is a bit of a problem. You see, everything you see in this dimension is third dimensional. There are different things at different vibratory rates, but when people start talking about fourth, fifth, and seventh dimension type thing, that's where we run into a problem. Now, the dimensions do exist, but you have to get to a certain level of awareness to be able to access that. And anything that you can see or pick up in, like on Earth or in this area, is third dimensional.
All right.
I think that's the easiest way to put it.
All right. Next question from Sandra. If you dream of jumping off a UFO, did it happen?
Not necessarily. We got to remember the mind will do things as stress relief, as occupying just to get your brain to slow down or to quit worrying about something. The brain is built to instinctively distract people from what they're going through. So many times you'll find that dreams are just that. They're a distraction. They are a coping mechanism, not necessarily an abduction.
Let me ask you something. Why do they have to keep abducting us? Why don't they just make a human farm?
Well, because human farms don't live in human society. Okay, ask any zoologist, why do they keep abducting the same tiger? Because of environmental modifications and age differentiation, as well as tracking migratory patterns. If you want to study ants, you don't make an ant farm. You go out on the field and watch what ants are doing.
I mean, they've been watching us forever. I mean, really? What are they taking us for then?
Well, think of it this way. Mankind, the humans of the 16th century were different than humans of the 21st century.
Yeah, but it didn't happen in one day. It's a gradual change. So
absolutely correct. So you track it on a consistent. You got to remember, for them, like humans watch weather patterns day in and day out for years at a time. Because humans only live 70 to 100 years. Okay. They start usually when you're dealing with weather watchers, they start when they're in their mid-teens, and they run for 60 years. Well, these people, some of them live a heck of a sight longer, and the civilizations are definitely longer than mankind. So this idea of tracking Earth for hundreds of years is quite normal and actually very short term. You gotta remember, the planet itself is right now, by human calculation, approximately 5.5 billion years old. Okay, now these off-worlders have watched the evolution of this planet. So a couple of hundred years is nothing.
Yeah.
You know, people keep referring to mankind as being an experiment. Well, not entirely. But it is a lesson of observation.
All right, let's move on here. Frapp is asking, Keith, do you know the difference between Shaver's Deros and Teros that was in the Shaver mystery?
Well, the answer would be definitively no, because I have never even heard of and or looked into what the Shaver mystery was.
All right, good enough. Moving on. Pyridoxine is asking, have you ever heard of the grays being seen as staticky and flickering as they are orange and in between layers?
In a manner of speaking, yes. If the technology is failing, which sometimes it does, the fact that they are seen as orange, there are some grays that are orange. That I know of, there's 15 different nationalities of grays. Which boils down to the same people, just different colors. Slight skeletal modifications, but it's based on environmental evolution. So yeah, if their shields are failing, they will come across as a flicker. You know, it's kind of like if a light bulb is going out. It flickers and gives off a really weird color of light.
Interesting.
So certainly not unheard of.
It's obvious that if you're orange, you're not living on an oxygen planet, are you? Oxygen-based? That would
More to
seem
the
weird.
point, if you're orange, your physiognomy is not responding the same way to the atmosphere that it would on Terra's atmosphere. Orange is a metabolic pigmentation, not based on the content of the atmosphere.
No, I know. It doesn't match with what's on our planet, really. But I keep forgetting that they're aliens, so, a little different.
I was gonna say.
Damn aliens.
Don't take that the wrong way there, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn aliens. Can never trust
Why
them.
do they gotta... No.
I remember when the seafarers started abducting people. They started abducting surface dwellers to get a handle on them. And it was comical in a really sick and twisted way, because the first people they abducted, they grabbed hold of them. Of course, because they can breathe underwater, they thought nothing of it. So they take the humans, they grab the humans, drag them into the water, and go down. Well, for some bizarre reason, humans did not live that well. So they finally figured out that oxygen was necessary, found a way to do that, but they didn't compensate for the pressure. So humans still didn't survive very well. But if you watch the show, what the heck was it called? The Abyss. That blue liquid they show you in the movie The Abyss was developed by the seafarers in order to be able to drag the humans down and actually get a word with them without killing them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, moving on here.
That's what
Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I was just going to say, that's the liquid he ingested, so he could go that depth. Okay.
Yes. It's to stop the body from being crushed at the depth.
Yeah. Okay.
That still grosses me. I hate that scene with Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Where he's like choking on that oxygen water. I hate that scene.
That part is I've coughed that stuff up.
Oh, I know how to take a breath.
I know. I'm the same way right now, man. I'm the same way. All right. Davin is asking, why doesn't Little Richie G put an advertisement on Carl's list for abductee volunteers for probing? I don't think Rich wants to get probed.
No, I'll take it in. Whatever. I just want it.
I believe it's trying to go. Be careful.
I just want the experience as a researcher.
Trust me, it's not that enjoyable.
Oh, I hope it isn't.
They didn't talk dirty to Keith. He's a little upset about that. A little sensitive. That's okay. All right, Nathan is asking, do the aliens realize the fear we seem to have is built into us as a survival instinct, Keith?
Absolutely. That's why they don't try and take the fear out. They just try and compensate for it. Because they're also aware that too much fear will rupture a human's heart or cause it to stroke out.
Yeah, that would suck.
And the idea is not to have your specimens pass out on you.
Fitness girls.
So are there different... son of a bee.
We did it again. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, you're too kind. All right. Are there different... I know this is going to sound like a human way of thinking, but do they have like admirals, generals, and things like that?
The answer to your question would be yes.
Yeah, all right. Do you know what they're called? Or?
Well, the human translation pretty much fits. See, I mean, they use different words. Of course, the reality of it is you take a different alien, a different race with a different language, it's going to use a different word.
Yeah.
But translation works out to about the same.
I got you. Okay.
Makes sense.
This is one of the reasons why they tried connecting with the human governments to start with. They figured they had a brain.
Well, that was another thing I was going to ask you. I would imagine they would have a government, take care of the masses, I would assume.
AKA the Galactic Consortium.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. How long's that been around? Do you know?
Well, considering it was around way before Earth was built, and Earth was built by roughly 5.5 billion years ago, it's been here for a while.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm sneaking in here. Fitness Girl is asking, are there any races banned from visiting Earth?
There have been a few that have been summarily banned. Only usually when you get there's been races that have actually been terminated, as in thrown out of the consortium altogether, because they wouldn't listen to the rules. Now understand, when a member race breaks consortium law, they're given warnings first of all, and if they don't pay attention, the home world, the secondary and the tertiary worlds are summarily obliterated. They are also, all support for them is summarily dropped. Net result, the race usually ends up dead. Or driven back to the Stone Age of their appropriate time.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. As time is winding down, we only got 3 minutes left with R. Keith Andrews and Little Richie G on the ET Connection. And let's see here. Where is our next question coming from? Oh, let's see here. Shanna is asking, which race is most likely to let me pilot a flying saucer?
That is an excellent question. The consortium would have to, in order for them to do that, first of all, the consortium would have to authorize it. That being said, I would be inclined to say either the Greys or the Mobians would be your most likely. The Greys, the Mobians, or the Martokians. But they have to get clearance from the consortium first.
Has it ever happened?
Yes.
You were waiting for me to ask that.
I totally was. I totally was. Oh, thank you, Richie G, for reading my mind there.
Flying saucers is driven by mental overlay. In other words, they are driven by thought.
So
and by electric influx.
What Betty and Barney Hill saw, who were they?
My understanding, having talked to their niece, is they were dealing with Greys.
Are the Greys different than Palladians?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Palladians are humanoid, roughly 6 feet tall, average adult height, but they have translucent blue skin and are completely bald.
Oh, wow.
You'll never see one on Earth. You'll see hybrids, but you'll never see a purebred.
Oh.
All right, guys. We got one question left. This one comes from Greco. We've got about 30 seconds left. Why is it that the aliens can abduct us without getting in any trouble, but the second I abduct one of them, probe them, I get thrown in jail? You sicko.
Blame human law for that one.
Yeah, yes. Go visit Greco's Greek restaurant in Toronto, because apparently the baklava is to die for. Gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much again for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Always a pleasure to have both of you here, our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. Thank you, bud.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. That's what we do around here. And Little Richie G, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Oh, thank you. I was very much. It was a good time.
We need to get our Keith on GoofOn.
Oh, I didn't think he would want to come on Goof On. All right.
Oh
I
yeah.
have no problem with it. I have to make sure we work it around my actual work schedule.
Yeah. Okay,
perfect.
cool. Good.
Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Dave on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned. Good job, guys. Let's give you a little bit of a clap here.
Thank you so much.
COVID. Yep. Clap.
Good job. Hey, Pat Smack, how you doing, man? Good job, boys. Good job. Fantastic work there tonight. You know, you could sure tell that you guys came in stretched and you came in loose, you know? Lubed up. Getting ready to get probed. Absolutely.
Always ready, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you. I never tried doing it that way.
Oh, that one's going to hurt. I can already tell that one's going to hurt. All right.
All right, bud. Well, have a good rest of the show. Take care.
Okay, I plan on it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
See you, Keith.
Is that it?
That's it, man. We're
Take
done.
care.
Hey, there's the Gavinator. The Gavinator is here. All right. The Gavinator. Oh, yeah.
Glad I didn't leave. Thank goodness.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Giddy up.
Have a good one.
Bye. All right. My buddy, the Gavinator. There he is. He always likes a good growl every now and again. The Gavinator. Holy shit, he never comes in here. What the hell's the occasion, Gavinator? What's the occasion? Mm-hmm. Now he's going to go back into hiding and not respond. He's too embarrassed. Every time you give him the Gavinator, he actually takes his hat and doffs it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the Gavinator there. Let's see. What do we got here? Hey, Gavinator. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let's see what Shirky Poo has for us tonight. World's oldest cat. All right, that's a gooder. Oh my goodness, Gavinator. Are you coming over for beers and a fire tomorrow night? Yeah, that story's definitely getting in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need 2 more. Oh, hell, I hate when that happens. Let's see what else we got out here. I think the Gavinator should come over for a beer tomorrow night. What do you guys think? Well, that's a little gross story. We'll take that one. Let's see what else we got here. All right, we got enough news. We got enough. Bucket of KFC would go nice right now. You know, go really nice right now? A taco. Taco would go very nice. I don't even think the Gavinator responded to my beer comment. You know, I offer him the Gavinator to come on over to my house for beer tomorrow night, and he doesn't even respond. He disappears. What a jerk. What a jerk. All right, here we go. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. I want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, do me a favor. Check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio. Speaking of the news, the Gavinator requests this tonight. Gavinator's our web guy. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky. And you know, there's one contest that, I'm going to be honest with you, I absolutely get disgusted by this every year. Look, I know I like a good meal. I haven't missed many meals in my life, okay? You know, I don't have a six-pack, I got a keg, just to be blunt, okay? But this annual hot dog eating contest at Coney Island, it grosses me out. Honestly, it grosses me right out. Joey Chestnut, the top-rated competitive eater in the Major League of Eating, said the coronavirus mandated changes to this year's Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest in New York offer a trade-off of advantages and disadvantages. Organizers of the annual July 4th event in the Coney Island section of Brooklyn previously announced measures to keep the competitors and workers safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic, including moving the contest from outside of the eatery to an indoor venue without a live audience. Now, the 36-year-old Chestnut, who's had more hot dogs in him than most adult movie stars, he's a 12-time champion of the hot dog eating contest, told UPI this week that he sees potential positives and negatives. He says, I think it's a little bit of a benefit being outdoors and indoors, because I won't be exposed to the ridiculous weather. Coney Island has the potential to be really hot and humid on the 4th of July, so we're avoiding that, and also there could be rain. The largest drawback to the changes is the lack of the live crowd. There's been times where it's super ridiculously hot and I'm feeling faint, but then people start chanting my name and it motivates. Let me tell you something, brother. Eating those hot dogs, brother, it just motivates me when the crowd starts chanting Joey Mania, brother. I don't know. It just came out. And you know what? It's a gross contest. It really is. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Now, if it was for Taco Bell, and if you are listening, Taco Bell, we want you as a sponsor here. But if it was for Taco Bell, I'm in. I am in. I would gore that thing. But hot dogs? Oh, come on. You know, when you see them, dumping like 4 or 5 hot dogs into the water, to moisten the bun, to get it down. Oh, grotesque. So anyways, that hobby that's been picking up over the last couple of years where you throw that magnet into a river or a creek or a lake to see what you can pull up. Well, 2 boys in Finland were doing this, and they reeled in something entirely unexpected. A rusty old, unexploded hand grenade. Lauri Tamaviori and Viljami Utalainen, how do you like the pronunciation of those names, said that they were using their magnet fishing kit to search for metal objects in Lake Vesijärvi when they pulled up the grenade. Usually we get bottle caps and nails, then it came in. I didn't realize it right away that it was a hand grenade, one of the boys said. They carried the object, oh, these dumb kids. They carried the object back to the shore with their hands, but quickly set it down and backed away when they started to suspect it was an explosive device. The boys brought Utalainen's mother, Marit, to come look at the mysterious item. It was an old-fashioned looking and pretty rusty. I said it could be a grenade. His aunt is a police officer, so I sent her a few pictures. We were given clear instructions to step away from it and wait for police to arrive. Police cordoned off the area and a defense forces team was summoned to take the object away. Officials confirmed it was an explosive device, but did not disclose how old it was or whether it was still active or live. A Michigan man, magnet fishing in the Grand River in November 2019, made a similar startling discovery when he pulled up a German grenade from the World War I area. Yeah, the Grand Rapids Police Department said the object, a German Granatenwerfer mortar, was unlikely still to be dangerous, but officers destroyed it anyways as a precaution. Hot dog contests are horrible. Just horrible. A mom who has donated 65 liters of breast milk to help other mothers, has opened up about the unusual requests that she has received from men wanting her to nurse them. Full-grown men. You got to be kidding me. After welcoming her first child back in February 2019, Michelle Oler decided that she had a surplus of breast milk in the freezer. So she wanted to put it to good use, the pharmacist of Oklahoma says. So she found a website dedicated to selling breast milk. After sharing a post advertising the milk she had available, the new mom thought she would connect with fellow mothers, but she also all of a sudden started getting real gross emails from perverted dudes who wanted it. One site I was full of strange men. I used, she says, was full of strange men. I highly doubt they wanted the milk for their babies. A few of them asked me for photos, which was creepy enough in itself, and it said a lot about their motives. She says, I got a couple of requests from men asking if I would physically nurse them. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, guys. After 2 months passed, Aller said that she still hadn't received a single genuine request from another mom about the milk, so she decided to take her advertising down. Thankfully, she then stumbled on a Facebook group, Human Milk for Human Babies, through which she found 5 parents to donate. It was such a rewarding thing to do. What really struck me is how many more women are looking for donations than there are women making them. If someone has a surplus, there are plenty of babies out there still in need. Shortly after giving birth to their daughter, the new mom realized that she was producing more breast milk than required. To prevent surplus going to waste, she began storing it in her freezer. Initially, she had planned to nurse her daughter for 6 months, but when she reached that milestone, she just decided to keep going. Most kids do. I had planned on weaning after 6 months like a lot of mothers, but after doing some research about the role breast milk can play, particularly helping babies fight off infection, I decided to carry on. 12 to 18 months is actually what's recommended. 2 years? Possibly. Gets a little weird after that. Don't you think? But yeah. Good on the moms out there. Seriously, good on the moms out there who breastfeed. It is such an important part of a baby's growth. Good on you for doing that. Rubble, the pet believed to be the oldest living cat, has died at the age of 31, but 150 years old in human quantifications. His owner, Michelle Heritage of Exeter, England, confirmed this sad news, that Rubble had died before reaching his milestone 32nd birthday, which would have been in May. He was an amazing companion that I had the pleasure to live with for such a long time, said Heritage, who recalled being gifted Rubble as a kitten for her 20th birthday. He was part of a litter of cats that my sister's friend had, and I just left home. I was lonely, living on my own, so I got a kitten. Heritage credited the fluffy Maine Coon cat's long life to her pet parenting, doting on the animal as if he was her own son. I have always treated him like a child, she explained. I don't have any children. Well, you're a cat lady. And had another cat named Meg. See, here we're adding more. Who passed at the age of 25. If you care about something, no matter what it is, it does last. The owner recounted Rubble's final days, sharing that the pet deteriorated very quickly towards the end. I said to my husband at Christmas that I think it would be the last we spend with Rubble. He had started to stop eating and only drank water. He became very thin, and I went to work as usual. And when I got home, my husband said Rubble had gone over the road, and he said, as he did every day, and never came back. So we believe he went off to die, as cats do. He was a creature of habit, she said. He had his favorite places to sleep and like his food, so when he had stopped doing that, we just knew. Celebrating Rubble's 30th birthday in 2018, Heritage called him lovely, admitting that she was known to get a little bit grumpy at times. He's a lovely cat, although he does get a little grumpy in his old age, she said, and he has plenty of life left in him, but I don't think we'll go down in the Guinness World Records route, as I am not sure he would like lots of people coming in to fuss over him. All right. Have a good one, Rubble. See you on the other side. The monkeys are snatching the monkeys are snatching from the wild and being trained to pick up to 1,000 coconuts a day, according to the PETA. What's this all about? A number of supermarkets have removed some coconut water and oil from their shelves after it emerged that their products were made with fruit picked by monkeys. The animal rights group PETA said pigtail macaques in Thailand were treated like coconut picking machines. In response, Waitrose, Ocado, Co-op, and Boots vowed to stop selling some of the goods. Meanwhile, Morrison said it had already removed products made with monkey-picked coconuts from its shelves. In a statement, Waitrose said, "As part of our animal welfare policy, we have committed to never knowingly sell products sourced from monkey labor." Co-op said, "As an ethical retailer, we do not permit the use of monkey labor to source ingredients for our products." In a tweet earlier, the Prime Minister's fiancée, Carrie Siemens, a conservationist, called on all supermarkets to boycott the products. Sainsbury's subsequently mentioned that we are actively reviewing our ranges and investigating this complex issue with our suppliers. Other companies said, "We expect our suppliers to uphold the highest production standards at all times, and we will not tolerate any forms of animal abuse in our supply chain." It pledged to remove certain brands from its shelves until it has investigated the allegations of cruelty. Ms. Simons later took to Twitter and urged Tesco to make similar pledges. "Come on, at Tesco, over to you. Please stop selling these products too." And Tesco responded, of course, because it's peer pressure time. "Our own brand of coconut milk and coconut water does not use monkey labor in its product, and we don't sell any of the branded products identified by PETA. We don't tolerate these practices and would never remove any product from sale that is known to have used monkey labor during its production." You know, it's pretty sad because these monkeys actually, they're on chains that are around their neck. Like, a lot of people will be like, "What's the big deal? What is the big deal?" But these monkeys literally are forced to climb up chains. They're yanked down after the coconuts are fallen, or the bananas, or whatever it may be. In this case, coconuts. And yeah, they're not looking pretty good. They are not looking good whatsoever. So this is actually a pretty good thing. A municipal councillor in northern Spain has offered to resign after inadvertently broadcasting video of himself showering during an online council meeting that was being live streamed. Earlier this week, councillors gathered online to hash out some of the latest issues facing their municipality of some 52,000 people. Following the protocols put in place due to Corona, half a dozen counselors dialed into the video chat at 8 in the morning, streaming it online for journalists and residents. As the meeting stretched past midday, Bernardo Bustillo, who works part-time with the municipality, began to fret that he wouldn't have time to shower and shuttle his daughter to her commitments before heading to his other job as a swim instructor. So, what did he do? Came up with what seemed to be the perfect solution to multitasking. hauling in the computer into the bathroom, and minimizing the chat screen so he could listen in on the meeting as he showered. But, like a 2020 specific anxiety dream, as his colleagues considered plans to clean up a local river, an image of him showering appeared on the bottom left screen, much of it blurred by a pane of frosted glass. The sound of running water drowned out the constant ringing of his mobile phone as frantic colleagues tried to warn him that the camera was still rolling. A wave of discomfort rippled through the video chat as he got out of the shower. "Say something to Bernie. Say something to him quickly," one colleague could be heard saying. Another asked, "We cannot disconnect him or do something?" The mayor swiftly took control, bringing an end to the meeting. As the video of the incident made the rounds online, Bastillo took to social media saying that he was at a complete peace with what had transpired. Of course, how else could he be? He stressed that he had been an innocent accident and a failure of technological know-how rather than anything nefarious. He's far from the only cautionary tale of the perils of remote working. Last month, Irish MEP Luke Ming Flanagan beamed out images of himself without trousers on the European Parliament's official live broadcast after positioning his iPad in a portrait mode rather than landscape after he hastily throwing on a shirt after a run. Anyways, Bastillo chalked up the incident to being pandemic era struggle balancing remote work with parenting. Oh, we've all been there. We've all been there. What the heck, right? Let's see what else we got here. Well, let's just get to the thought of the day, shall we? It's that time anyways. You ready, Marty? Are you ready, Marty? Hey, really cool news. We passed 7,000 followers on Twitter. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages and read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. If you were taken up on a UFO, what are 3 things you'd want to take with you? Oh, we got some great responses today. Marty, our favorite veteran. Actually, every veteran we have listing is our favorite. So we'll always say that. Our favorite veteran. A smartphone with a really good camera, a bag of snacks, and my Team Stump membership card. Perfect. Shanna, notebook, pen, snacks, drinks, and knowledgeable people around me. Nathan, the best camera I could get, a towel, pen and paper. Science Bob wants a video camera, liquid sustenance, and a notepad. Joe, my mail-in voter's ballot. R. Keith Andrews need a knowledgeable guide and a big supply of ramen noodles. Alcatraz Juan, a toothbrush, a map to the homes of female celebrities, and a plug inserted where X marks the spot. Oral hygiene is important for the toothbrush. The map is in case they want to breed with us and I get to pick which human to breed with. The plug is just in case they decide to go for a probing and I don't want it. John, GoPro, battery, and batteries. Graham, Dave, my good friend, I want to ship the suit and a map. Sinbad, a gun, a needle, and thread. No way they digging around in me. I'll beat them to it and sew myself up. Jules, my pets, a lot of smokables, and a change of underwear. Sean Cahill, television star, great beard. My free will, my memory, and a guaranteed return ticket. Secret Machines, a left foot shoe so that I was not the only soul on board. A car door, so if it was hot and stuffy, I could let the window down and keep cool. Finally, of course, a rudimentary lathe in case they needed me to make something for them. Twin brew, beer, brats, and more beer. Lisa, my husband, my daughter, and my dog. Zignal wants 3 towels. Danny, I want weed, water, and R. Keith Andrews. Salty Vent, Lots of guns, my computer, and 30 years of MREs. See what's happening on Facebook here. Jim, old Jim Goodall. My 357, my iPhone, and a friend to back up each other in case once we're released. Damien, you would be one of them, Dave, so you could ask the aliens your brilliant questions. Oh, thank you. Kelly, snacks, a camera, and Whitley Strieber to take the attention off of me. Kevin Day, from the Nimitz incident, I want shoes, pants, and a shirt. Wayne, my dog, but I have to get one first. My brother, because he ain't heavy. He's my brother. See what I did there? And clothes. Got to wear something, right? Nick, I want my blankie and my teddy bear. Robin, iPhone, iPad. They must have a charging station somewhere on there. James, integrity, energy, intelligence. Sylvia, my little doggy, my car, and my son. Paul, my Mossberg, ammo, and water. Christine, camera. Gabe, I want Carl there, alien pizza, and a device that lets me get a free ride on a UFO anytime. Mark, I want lube, my AK-47, and a video to document what I'm about to do. Rick, a camera, a snack, and Rich Giordano just to make a buddy's dream come true. Barry, peach-flavored iced tea, pills to prevent nausea and dizziness, and some snacks. No, wait, a smartphone with high-pixel camera for recording videos. Brian Bowden, 3 things I want, a case of smokes, the crypto guru, and Dave Scott. I'm there, Brian. So there. Nikki, R. Keith Andrews as a translator, my son, and all the music of Earth, past, present, and future. James, phone, wallet, keys. See Adam Sandler's song. All right. Michelle, Geiger counter, camera, and tape recorder. Ryan Burns gets the final word, former guest. He says, I want a sandwich, a cup of coffee, and Jacques Vallée. Thanks to everybody participating in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again next time. Thank you to Captain Shirk for the SOR Newswire, and to Little Richie G joining our Keith Andrews on the ET Connection. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thaw rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be. Thanks to everybody in our chat rooms on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club, and our website. And to all the snarkers and snarkettes playing bingo at hashtag Spaced Out Radio tonight. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Remember, everybody, the Woo train may have docked for the night, but tomorrow we shall ride again. Remember, your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, there's room for them too. Good night. That was good woo tonight, people. Very strong woo. You don't get much stronger than that. Oh, headphones off. Woo-wee. That was fun. I am tired. Tired. Where's my, that's a program I need right there. All right. Fantastic woo tonight, people. That was hardcore woo. Hardcore woo. Oh, we definitely hit peak woo tonight. Excuse me. I do apologize for that. Happy 4th of July, America. Much love to all of you, my Canadian or my American family and friends. I love your country. You're fun to make fun of, but I love your country. I'd move there in a heartbeat. Vegas. Vegas is where I would move. Move to Vegas in a heartbeat. Totally would. Oh, as I slouch down. It was a good week. Next week, we're pretty good too. We got Geraldine, we got Science Bob and William, Varley, Venture. All right. Now, where's that KZAX file? All right, that was... I am still playing the Wolf Simulator. They bumped up on the latest update. I think you can get to level 60 or level 70. I just finished level 52. And so I am moving on up, man. Moving on up. Why would I hate living in Vegas? Everything I do in my life is Vegas. Everything I love in my life is Vegas. They got hockey. They got minor league baseball. They have football. They have gambling. They have beautiful people, exotic shops, great food, fantastic shopping, aliens, Area 51, Nellis Air Force Range. Barely any minus temperatures. I will move to Vegas one day. That is my goal. I already know the building that I want to get my townhouse in, or my condo in. Even though I so don't do condo living. Hate condo living. But in Vegas, I would. You can get pizza at any time of the night. There's Taco Bell's. There's In-N-Out Burger. I've been to Vegas lots of times. I have a cousin who lives in Summerlin, another one who lives in Henderson. I've got other friends in Henderson. I have friends who live downtown. I would move there in a heartbeat. When I'm in Vegas, honestly, it feels like I am home. It's much like my little town here, man. When I moved here, it felt like home. That's why I moved here. Came down the hill driving in and looked at the town, and it just felt like home. When I go to Vegas, it's the exact same way. Just feels like home. In-N-Out Burger is just a real simple menu. It's just a basic, good cooked burger. Like there's nothing flashy about it. Fat Burger, Five Guys, places like that. That's more gourmet. In-N-Out is like a better cooked McDonald's burger. And they got fantastic milkshakes. Well, hey, Derek, I'd love to go to Australia one day. There's too many friggin' sharks in between us, though, man. Lots of sharks. As long as I don't have to do the ocean, okay, like I'll look at the ocean from a couple miles distance, okay, but as long as I don't have to go into the ocean, I'd be okay with that. All right, let's get this thing done. Now I gotta open up that program. Desktop. All right, get ready for verification code part 1. Let's see if I can do this all in one. Let's be a rebel here, see if this works. Maybe we only need one verification code. I don't know. Okay, we're going to need one verification code for tonight. Just one. Your verification code is 214159. That's 214159. Use it wisely, space people. And let's convert that. What the hell are drop bears in Australia? Oh, I don't care about the Vegas traffic. If I'm doing this show full time and I'm living right off the strip, I ain't driving anywhere. I'm walking. We're taking the tram. Way to borrow my number there, Ad Gnome. I see what you did there. Yeah, that's too bad about the koala population, man. That's really too bad. How many of you in the chat room right now are actually in or from Australia? Oh, I actually have some Vegemite in the studio. Unopened Vegemite from when my daughter was in Australia a year and a half ago. Unopened Vegemite right there. Doesn't bring me a hat, doesn't bring me a koala bear, nothing. Brings me a packet of Vegemite. Can you say I was forgotten? All right, conversion complete. Now we can start with this. Upload folder here. Oh, cancel. Almost did it again, Dave. Almost did it again. There we go. How you do it in a freezer? I don't get it. Honestly, Vegemite tastes like shit. It's horrible stuff. Chrismo, are you in Austria? I think you told me that once before. I forgot it. That's cool. So tonight we had Australia, Austria, United Kingdom, United States, Canada, wonder where everybody's from. That's right, Davin. You're in Vietnam, so there's 5 Canada, USA, United Kingdom, Austria, Australia, Vietnam. So that's 6 countries so far. It's actually kind of cool. It's 2:22 p.m. tomorrow or later today. So you are 14 hours ahead of me, Davin. Nick's in South Africa? Nick, I thought you were in British or in Canada. So it's 7 countries. Arkansas for Pat Smack. Cool. I know Adno's from Missouri. Tennessee for Philip. Oregon for the Stu Gerson. Yes, that's right. Fitness Girl is South Africa. That's right. So there's 8 countries. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually, beside my schedule here, I'm going to go get like a world map and a map of Canada and the United States. So that way, excuse me. So that way I can mark on a map where I have listeners. I think that would be really cool. That'd be really cool. I'd love to go to South Africa. My one of the doctors in my town, he's a client of mine. He's from South Africa, and he recently had to go back for a couple years. But he's like, Dave, anytime you want to come to South Africa, he goes, I'll just throw you my keys. And he goes, my butler will take you wherever you need to go. And I'm like, butler? I said, well, where in South Africa do you live? He goes, well, you've been talking about Kruger National Park. He goes, my driveway is like 5 miles from it. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And so I'm like, your butler would like literally take me and drive me around into into like areas so I could like see lions and water buffaloes and alligators and elephants. He's like, oh yeah. He goes, all the time. He goes, you just go. I'm like, oh, this is just getting too real. I would love to go to South Africa. Love to. Age matters with Vegemite. Maybe there was some bad Vegemite I had then. I'd try it again. Planet chart. Not yet. Is it still terrible, David? I'm trusting you on this. Like, I would not trade maple syrup, a Canadian staple, for the Australian staple of Vegemite. I wouldn't do that. I love myself too much. Yes, I would, Fap. That's why I'm not going to the ocean. Not going to the ocean, man. Between Australia and South Africa's oceans, I'm a dead man. I am such a dead man. That Battle at Kruger video, Rano is a fantastic video. I know the one you're talking about. That's where all the water buffalo get pissed off at the lions and the alligator. Rodrigo, Portugal. Good morning to you. Really, I didn't know you were in Portugal. Man, you know what? I am so going to get a map tomorrow of the world. I'm definitely going to do that. I want to find out where everybody's from, man. All right, the one is done. Wow. That is just so cool to me. 9 confirmed countries. I bought a new metal detector, Mine Lab. You haven't heard the last of this, Dave. Rano. Sweet Tooth Canuck. Wow, 9 countries. This is so cool. Too many terrifying Nat Geo bids. No, man. I want to see mongoose versus cobra. That's a battle I want to see. I would be the ring announcer for that one. I would, if I saw a mongoose and a cobra, I'd run in between them and look at them like I'm standing in the octagon. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Oh, yeah. Let's get it on. Money's on the mongoose, man. He may not make it after a couple of bites, but he's going to kill that cobra. Good night, Shanner Banana. I could get a globe at Costco. That would be cool. Hi, Red-Headed Lisa. I did read your email today. When you get a hold of me, just so you know, my hair has never been colored. It's never been highlighted. Even with temporary. It's never been color treated. I'll keep it going until you need it. Let's get it on. Oh, damn it, Phil. Yeah, man. Yeah. I want to see that, buddy. I totally want to see that. You are so amazing. For everybody who doesn't know, if you go to our website, every week, Filthy in the chat room here, he does a new SOR piece of art. I didn't know that scorpions ate geckos. Remember, Filth, let's get it on. You got to have me shaking my fists, man. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Richie G is the color court commentator. Oh, yeah. That would be fantastic. Oh. I look forward to it, Filth. You have a good sleep, man. Remember, we're only a few days away from Oilerville taking on over, man. You go manifest, Dirty Phil. Oh, you kill me every time, brother. You kill me every time. See where we are on this. Download stuff. Oh, we can email it now. Oh, Fapster, I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way. Rich is such a talent. He is just amazing. Okay, Derek, I'll check those out. No, Human Carl was in here tonight. It was Human Carl who was the guy we were trying to set up with her. He was in here tonight. Renee, where are you located? Are you in the United States? Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, UFO Joe is a good dude. That interview is still blowing up. I should check and see how many times it's been viewed now. That show kind of went nuts. It's had over 1,300 views. It's kind of cool. All right, everyone. I'm going to bed. I get to work again tomorrow. So I'm going to go off to bed here. And I'm going to go night. So I hope all you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Who's my guest Monday? Vivienne Chauvet. We were talking natural healing. Natural healing. Not usually what we're used to, but it's going to be a good night nonetheless. But I am smoking tired, and I got to be up at 8 in the morning to be at work for 9. So much love to all of you. Thank you so much for the super chats. And I will talk to you guys soon. Reach out on